the basically 2.5, hour and a half long pre-show that we had, exclusively on Podbean. Podbean is a place that you guys can call into the podcast. Let me not hesitate any longer. Let's go ahead and get this motherfucker started. You guys ready? Okay. Big man, you wanna hear some hot takes? Let's see how woke you are. You know something about podcasts? Hell, dígame. Kidding me on what, man? I got these 3 drunk uncles with a sports podcast. They say they got fire takes, pure fuego. You find them wherever you listen to podcasts at. If it's what they say it is, you like and you subscribe. Listen, like, and subscribe, yeah. You know how to call into the show? Yeah, man, do the Podbean app. You'll need headphones with a mic to call in. That's no problem, man. They'll also be at Sharky's, 8:07 p.m. on the first Wednesdays of the month. You may get some free Blue Chew. And they keep receipts or so. If anything happens in the sports world, MyT is gonna drop a tape faster than a rabbit gets fucked. There's only 3 things I have in this world. My word, my balls, and this podcast. And I don't break them for nobody. MyT Sports Season 7. Evening, and welcome back to another edition of the MyT Sports Podcast. I am your host, the one and only Dollar Mandela, Mr. Take that himself. Yo, this is another Fuego day in the hottest city in the world. It is September 24th. They told us we was going to have highs of 92, lows of 78. Folks, we're officially listening to Season 7, Episode 9, X335 of the MyT Sports Podcast. That's all that shit down there, right? Actually, I think that says 41. Why does that say 41? Let's go ahead and update that for you guys that's down there. Let's go ahead and watching that shit down low. But man, we got a big show coming up for you guys today. We got everything from the rooter to the tutor. Basically, there's trade talks around Kyrie. What? We talking about Kyrie trades? Apparently there's some Kyrie trades that we possibly gonna get into, right? Last night, Liberty choked. We're gonna go from bust to busty, folks, for one play. Something was brought to my attention by one of our co-hosts. You know, the quiet storm, as you can hear the rain thunder and the thunder going on in the background, trying to quietly sneak in a little hot take on us. So we're gonna go ahead and go into a little thing that we're gonna call bench one. You just benched one. It's so silly. How come? Right? We're gonna go into benched ones. I have to mention, listen, I don't know if you guys realize this, right? But the NBA season is days away. The NBA season is days away. Well, the NBA preseason will be starting on October 3rd, I believe, right? And then, let me see here. Oh, what was this? 7 days ago we were talking about 26 days away now, right? 26 days away now for the start of the regular season, folks. The NBA season is creeping. It is creeping. We have week 3 of our NFL picks that we're going to get into. We have Thursday Night Football to talk about, as you guys have been following the podcast for the last good year or so now, right? Obviously, we're going to have it's been half a year now? How long has it been? It don't matter. We got a Blue Chew code for you guys as well to continue, so you can get your free doses of Blue Chew, Blue Chew, Blue Chew, Blue Chew, Blue Chew, Blue Chew. Right? We got all that shit for you guys. We have all that and more. But you know what we already say here on the podcast. Regardless of the time. Take that. And regardless of the weather.
You play to win the game. Hello?
It is always a good time to talk some sports. Let's do this motherfucker up and get started. So, let's start talking. Woo! Back at it like a sports fanatic. MyT Sports. You know how we like to start our podcast off. You know how we like to start the podcast off with giving a few birthday shout-outs. So let's go ahead and get right into the birthday shout-outs. Sorry, DJ MyT. You're going to have to cut the beat on that one. You know what? We had a public... Yeah. Unfortunately, we have no birthdays coming up from the last time we was on the podcast. There was no birthdays yesterday, there's no birthdays today. But I'm pretty sure by the time that we come back on Monday, we're going to have a bunch of birthdays that happen over the weekend. So we'll get into our birthday shout-outs then. What I do want to do is let you guys know where you can find the podcast at, right? Because the podcast is everywhere. The easiest place to find the podcast. Go to my website, mytsports.net. M as in Mike, Y as in Yankee, T as in Sports, T as in Tango, sports.net. Easiest way to find the podcast. You'll be able to catch the live airing of the podcast, and you'll be able to catch all of the re-airs of the podcast as well, directly there. Easiest way to catch the podcast. You can listen to it live, and you can listen to all the re-airs. And you'll get a link to all of my social media pages. My social media pages, obviously, is where you can watch the podcast at live if you want to. Whether that's Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, but also on YouTube you can also catch all the re-airs of the podcast. Also, an easy way to listen to the podcast, just tell your small speaker, play the latest episode of the MyT Sports Podcast, and it'll play wherever you listen to podcasts at. Hopefully you have Google Play, and it'll just play right through Google Play. It's usually the easiest way. Or you can tell you want to watch the latest episode of the MyT Sports Podcast and go ahead and play that for you. Wherever you listen to it, you guys already know what we say. It's always a good time. Now, since I don't have any birthday shout-outs to go, give me a little something. Give me that birthday beat back. I'm sorry, this just brings a different feeling for me. It's like starting the podcast off with like sort of party. Open up the doors and check it. 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 Oh man, it's something you gotta see. But what I did want to do, I wanted the guys to let you know about the next Platinum Pro Wrestling event, folks. I've been talking about this for some time, folks, and I'm going to keep talking about it until we get there. The next Platinum Pro Wrestling event, folks, is less than 30 days away, folks. It is less than a month away. It is coming up on October 22nd, folks, and Platinum Pro Wrestling is going to present to you... I wish I had a fourth one, third one. We'll present to you Hollow Slam, folks, directly from Ted Vernon's Specialty Automobile at 3301 North 7th Avenue, Miami, Florida 33150. This is my bad. You know what? Because I just realized something, and I should have been done this. But you know, sometimes you don't think about things like, until the last minute or the last moment. But you know what? I guarantee you that for everybody that's watching, you won't be having such a hard time of me presenting this information to you ever again, right? Because I'm just gonna pop an image up on the screen. Look, everybody that's watching on Instagram, there you go. That's how you're gonna have to see that. So Ted Vernon's Automobile Center, right, at 3301 North 7th Avenue, Miami, Florida 33150. Right, it's gonna be Hollow Slam, Miami's Fight Night. You can also start getting your tickets at ticketleap.com. That's ticketleap, LEAP.com. Or if you can't make it, you're from out of town, you say like, yeah, I can't make this beat. What you can do, you can order the fight on pay-per-view on on the Fight app. That's FITE. Download the Fight app, and you'll be able to catch it on pay-per-view there as well. Check it. Now, one of the things I do want to do, I did want to do, part of the reasons why we're here, right? One of the really big reasons why we're here is because something very special happened, right? Something very special happened in the Platinum Pro Wrestling family. Right? And what happened in the Platinum Pro Wrestling family is that one of our own, our very own doubles division champion, Dante Marquez Carter DLC his appearance on in WWE. Folks, you can catch the read here on SmackDown. He was part of the up and coming rising tournament that they have going on right now. So basically, he's in the was one of those up and coming risers, folks, and he was able to get himself a little bit of shine, got himself some airtime. So you can see you can see him on TV. You understand? Like yo, that shit is dope. So we want to say big up and congratulations to him for real. Make sure you go ahead and check out. That shit sound like soca. Oh, DJ MyT, cut the beat. Cause while I do appreciate it, like you guys playing the birthday beat, like I'm gonna have to bring that down a little bit. I'm sorry, just bring out a different vibe. But yeah, so big shout out to Dante Marquise Carter on making his making a W. I don't want to say his WWE debut. Was it a WWE debut? Or was it a SmackDown debut? Okay, it was a WWE NXT appearance that he made. All right, there we go. It's still, it wasn't his debut because I remember seeing him in Raw After Dark or whatever the hell it was. But he made his WWE NXT appearance. He was in the up and coming Rising Challenging match. And you'll be able to go ahead and catch it. Don't worry, I'll be watching NXT. I'll definitely be watching NXT this week. And I'm hoping, I ain't gonna lie, I am really hoping that he's getting a call up. And that we're gonna be able to start seeing him on a weekly to monthly basis on NXT. Because he's been working his butt off. I'm talking about. I remember last year, right before the pandemic, when I saw him. And I ain't gonna say he wasn't swole, right? But he was getting in shape. He was doing his stuff, Dizzle, right? But now, like I remember when I last saw him, and listen. Understand what I want to say? Oh yes, all right. What's going on to do, Sean? Like when I saw him recently, I could automatically tell how much work he was putting because his back was completely transformed. Like you can see it. His back completely transformed. So throw that up there again, yo. Big up to the homie. Big up. Dante Marquez Carter DMC. Your PPW's double division champion, making also a WWE NXT appearance. Big shout out to him. Big shout out to him. And that's one of the first things. So that's one of the first things I wanted to get into since we didn't have any birthday celebration. I wanted to give a big up out there. You know what I mean, to the homie, because I know how much that he has been working, just by how much he has been working to get to this position from the time of the pandemic when he started doing WWE After Dark, right, or Raw After Dark or whatever it was called, right? Raw Underground, that's what it was, Raw Underground. So from the time that he was doing Raw Underground to even now where you see him in WWE NXT, big shout out to him. This dude does bust his ass, and the proof is in the results, I guess. Now I want to give a shout out to somebody also that doesn't get enough love, and I'm not saying this because I've seen him complain about this, to be honest with you. But you know what though, if he's complaining about not getting enough love, and if I ain't seeing him on also AEW After Dark, like I'm seeing some of these other guys that's in South Florida, or WWE, or WWE's or any of WWE's underground networks or coming up networks, there's something gotta be wrong, because Cha Cha Charlie is the truth, folks. Go check out some Cha Cha Charlie. Like Cha Cha Charlie needs to get it. Oh, go ahead, come on, big up too. Big up to Cha Cha Charlie, right? Because very recently, like the Wrestling Power Index, right? Underground up and coming Power Index in a way, came out, and he wasn't one of the top 500 wrestlers, right? Like in the indie market. And he was like, "Yo, how is that not possible?" Which, listen, I see him all the time. He's right down here, and he is right. Yo, he gets the crowd moving. He has moves. He gets entertainment. He gets interaction. People come out to see him. You understand? Like when he comes out, he also comes out with a huge following. Huge following. I didn't glitch. That was on purpose. So the fact that he's not getting that kind of love is kind of weird. So I'm gonna have to check out. I need to take a look at what this power index looks like, because honestly, I want to see if guys like Dante Marquise Carter is on there, who I've seen get a call up. I want to see if Genocide is up there. You know what I mean? Because I've seen her get call ups in different markets as well. I want to see. Let's see who else. There's a couple of them. That I see them on television. They kind of go back and forth. I see them in other areas, like Ring of Honor and also like that. So let's see. So let's see, like guys, if guys like the Goods Wood, Josh the Goods Woods, if he's on there, you know, or where he may fall. Like and there's a lot. There's so many. Chico Adams. I want to see where he may rank. Who else? Mr. 305, the Sicario Pitbull. I want to see where he may rank. So I want to take a look at this, not just for the fact of Cha-Cha Charlie, but also to see where the ranking is for the individuals I'm doing matches for. Because to be honest with you, right, I didn't even know that this even existed until somebody complained about not being on it. Or until Cha-Cha Charlie complained about not being on it. I didn't even know this existed, to be honest with you. So now that I know it's out there, I want to take a look. I want to see where these guys are ranked, because it's something I'll add to. There's something that I will also add when announcing them. You know, out of the top 500 wrestlers in the indie market, that's world. That's from coast to coast. Hey, we present to you, especially the guys in the top 100. But if you make the list, you mean, wow, just kind of think you make the list. As I want to say, in the 3 years that I've been doing this, I've easily, I want to say, have called matches for at least 100 different wrestlers already. Easily. I don't know how true that is, but it feels like I've called matches for, I've called at least 100 different wrestlers. I have a logbook that I keep. I keep a log of everybody, what their information on, because when I have to do a show for them again, I like to be prepared. I've mentioned this to you guys. I like to be prepared, and one of the ways that I prepare is that after I keep all the information on the postcard the day of, and then after I put the information on the postcard, right, and I get all the information, basically where they're from, how much they weigh, their nicknames, titles, things like that. Any honorable mentions they need, accolades they want to mention, who they're accompanied by, things like that. Organizations, you know, or factions they may be a part of. I put all that in the computer, and I get it in there, and that way, and I keep it in something simple. It's a Google spreadsheet, right? That way, it's on my laptop, but it's also on my phone, so that when I go there, it's like, okay, bam, well, you still going by so and so, you still weighing 226, you know what I mean? You still your girlfriend's favorite wrestler. And they're like, yeah, you still from so and so? Like, yeah, okay, cool, I got you. And you know, I want to say that's what has helped build the rapport that I'm starting to have with the wrestlers that I get an opportunity to call a match for. Was that what it meant? I couldn't even explain it to you. It is something that it's incredible. So shout out to them. This is supposed to be about them. Let's get into our official first topic of the day.
First of all, things first.
New York can't catch a break. But before that happens, let's take it back. I feel like this is this whole Thanos thing, right? The Knicks got good. And the only thing it cost me was all of New York. It cost me everything. It cost me the Yankees, it cost me the Mets, it cost me the Nets, it cost me the Giants, it cost me the Rangers, it cost me the Liberty, it cost me the Red Bulls. Did I mention it cost me the Nets? It cost me the Islanders. It cost us everything for the Knicks to be good. I don't think you understand what's going on here. The New York Knicks cannot have, or New York period right now, cannot have nice things, and it sucks. It absolutely sucks, and it hurts. The New York Liberty, right, had a play-in game the other day. Not a play-in game, had a one-game elimination playoff game the other day. Which I guess you can, if you're an NBA fan, I guess you can call it a play-in game. But they consider that being in the playoffs for them. Which I told you. Right now we're dealing in semantics, where we're calling it the play-in game and not part of the playoffs. We've been calling it since day one here on the podcast, part of the postseason, because that's what it is. And eventually, everybody's just gonna start calling it the playoffs. Like I said, we're gonna work with this word semantic and call it the play-ins for a while or whatever. But no. It's just gonna be the playoffs. So you could call it whatever you want. But the New York Liberty were taking on the Phoenix Mercury, folks, for a one-game playing tournament. And I'm going to be real honest with you. The New York Liberty choked, folks. The New York Liberty flat out choked. They had this game in the bag. They started off the game a little rough, down by 6. But they would work their way up. They would get hot. And they would start finding things that were working. Pick and rolls. You know, Sabrina was going off. You know, getting passes into the seams. We understand that like Grimer was a handful. Like they were really attacking the defense. Where they were very square on their defense, not giving lanes left or right. When they were closing out hard and closing out fast. Not giving any of the shooters on Phoenix any airspace at all. They would turn a 6-point deficit to an 11-point lead. And then they would just flat out. The fourth quarter would come around, and they would just flat out choke. Absolutely flat out just choke. Gok, 3,000. Right? It literally came, and this is a game that you had to see. If you guys don't watch enough WNBA, this was one of those games that you had to see because it was exciting. It was super duper exciting, right? That's the only way for me to explain it. Super duper excited. Way more interesting than the Chicago Sky versus the Dallas Wings game, which is very ironic, right? Because they were more closer in record than the Mercury and Liberty game. The Sky were 16-16, the Wings were 14-18. Basically, we talk about a two game difference. New York Liberty were 12-20, while Mercury was 19-13. You understand? That's a full 7-game difference. And for a while, it looked like it didn't matter. First quarter was close. Mercury up by 1. Second quarter, New York Liberty is up. Right? They end up going up by 4 points or some shit like that by the end of that quarter. The Liberty would end up getting an 11-point lead and then just blow it. Like when I say blow it, they completely blew it. Like I said, but the whole entire game the game is almost a close game. It's weird because regardless of all of the runs that are happening back and forth, right? Throughout the game, a 6-point lead by Mercury, an 11-point lead by the Liberty. At the end of every quarter, it was still close. Like I said, it's a 1-point game in the first. It's a 4-point game in the half. It's a 2-point game going into the fourth. Liberty will get an 11-point lead. Flat out 11-point lead. Looking like they're cruising. I think maybe like 4 minutes left. They were looking like they're cruising. And then, oh my God, they were smitten. As I was myself. They were smitten. By that damn cute as a button, that silver-haired fox. Sorry, that's some Steve Harvey shit. Oh my god. That's oh my god, I'm drooling on myself. I'm gonna have to take a pause here. Yo, you know, guys don't understand, right? That, man, I don't know if you guys watch this, but I watch. I mean, I get into a lot of skits I watch, and one of the things that I get to play on loop. Basically, one of the things I take myself down the wormhole of is the Steve Harvey's Family Feud. And every once in a while, they throw in on the Family Feud greatest hits. And in those greatest hits, there's always this one dude that cracks me up every time. Even to the point where it's rented space in my head, where I've actually broke it down and analyzed it and overthought about it. Looked up in my ceiling while calling the popcorn paint on the little popcorn kernels on my ceiling, while deciphering if he knew what the fuck he was doing. Let me tell you. Let me break this scene down for you, right? So as you guys know, right, they get ready to bring two contestants down to the middle podium. Steve Harvey comes out. He does his thing. Why don't you guys go ahead? Come on down. Team A, Team B. They come on down. Right, they coming out there all happy and shit. It's this black dude, right? This little cute white chick, right, that's been talking about Sophia Cunningham. Oh, that's how we got here. Sorry. I loophole again. I've been back at 12. Oh my god. Oh my god. That is one of the funniest things that I've ever seen, right? Just on some random shit. Also, one of the other funniest things that I've ever seen is going to come up today. It's definitely going to come up today. And I hope, oh man, I can't wait. I can't wait! Oh, I really need my two co-hosts in here. I really do. Let me go ahead and text these fools, right? That the room is open. Because I really want them in here for later on today. Because there's some shit I'm gonna play that if they don't hear it, actually they don't hear it now. They gonna hear it and they gonna crack the fuck up. But we'll get to that. So Steve Harvey, right? He has his little show, Family Feud, and this black dude and this little cute white. This little cute white chick comes up, and for all intents and purposes, we'll just call her Becky, right? And as they come out, and she got a nice little rap on her, right? So as she comes up and they get to the podium, you can hear somebody in her family yelling, "Distract him, Becky! Distract him!" Right? And I guess as she finally hears it, because I think the person repeated like 2-3 times. "Distract him, Becky! Distract him! Distract him, Becky! Distract him!" And she hears it, she starts bouncing up and down and jiggling her tits and shit, right? In front of his face. And dude, I remember we're on Family Feud, right? Dude singles in, right? Just complete television. Right? Straight to the torpedoes. And he's just over there. And Steve Harvey is like, "Damn, what is wrong with you?" And then it just kind of like stands like, Steve was like, "Wait, aren't you married?" Like, yeah. He's like, "Yeah." "Isn't that your wife over there, stupid? Dumbass old man." I don't know if that dude's still married or not. But then this is what happens. That's what started popping in my head. Is this dude still married to his wife? Like, what happened after that? Right? Then she was like, because you know how people are, right? Like, "Oh my God, you embarrassed me. It's on national TV. Everybody gonna see." She more worried about, like, what's really happening inside. You know what I mean? But you gonna worry about, really worry about the perspective. Not worry about what's really happening, because he could be a fine dude. You know what I mean? Taking care of her, doing all the right things, never ever cheated on her. None of that. Just in this one moment, he's and who knows, right? As I'm breaking this down and overthinking this shit for no reason, I'm like, who knows? Maybe that's how he responds to her. Which I can understand why they may cause some trepidation, but that's just his natural response. But obviously, it's gonna make her start to think, yo, when I'm not around, is this motherfucker just out here barking at bitches, right? Literally barking at bitches. Like, out there sounding like DMX and shit, right? Or it also made me wonder, what if they have some kind of understanding? Because you guys know when you're with somebody that really knows you, or depending on how she is, right? And if you see a fat ass, right, you guys may both compliment that shit, like, oh god damn, she got a donk, right? And who knows if when that happens, his wife don't be over there, you know what I mean, or so I'm like, who knows? That's not their thing. But god damn, dog, if I don't swear it's gonna phone anything I don't ever see, goddamn. Nah, for real, B. That was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my motherfucking life. One of the most funniest dudes. Sounded like he trying to do ad-libs for a DMX album, stupid ass looking boy. Fuck wrong with you? Over here barking like you got Tourette's and shit. But like I said, that is one of those scenes that has rented way too much space in my head. And now because of it, see, and I have to stop before it becomes a habit. Because of it, I catch myself doing it jokingly. But I'm telling you, it's gonna end up being a real thing. And I'm not, because this won't be the first time where I've done something retorted jokingly, right? And I did it so often and so many times that eventually it became part of one of my habits. Like, that has happened to me before. So I gotta be careful. I don't want me barking at broads to start becoming a thing. You know what I mean? Because again, like, I'll straight up lose it, and then I'll start barking. Like, I'm gonna bark at my girl the next time I see her. Like, I'm gonna see her. I'm gonna show guys. So like, what wrong with you? What you think y'all dog no? Well, hey, I have a bowl for you. Come drink some water out of the bowl. Sop it up now. Come on, Katagi. Come sop up the bowl. I ain't front. That's some shit that she would do. So let's get back into this WNBA game, right? Because as I was saying, that's how we got down this rabbit hole. New York Liberty has this game in control. They had this game in control. 11 points in the fourth quarter with like 4 minutes left in the game. But they just couldn't stop that goddamn little cutie, that silver-haired fox, Sophia Cunningham. Well, she got hotter than her looks, people. And I ain't gonna lie. Don't know who the fuck she was before today. I know who the hell she is now. And what it was, right? One, she's scorching my team. But if she's scorching my team, you noticing, and I don't know if it's silver or if it's a very light platinum blonde that just kind of looks silver. But it looked like she had a silver mane going on back there. And she's running up, and she's going up and down, and she has it in a ponytail. She's going up and down the court, and she's busting that three, and she's catching it, and she's over here catching the attitude. She's talking shit. NFL, you know what I mean? She talking shit. The NFL refs came out there, and they threw a taunting flag on her, like, you can't do that. Fuck you, technical. And she's like, she was getting crazy, B. Don't worry, guys. If you guys are connecting through the chat, I cannot see the chat as of right now if you're watching through the video. So everybody that's watching on video, I can't see the chat right now. My chat happens to be down. I'm having some technical difficulties with that. Just to let you guys know. But that's for the guys that's everybody that's watching. And I mean watching across Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or Twitter. And that may be why what's going on, because Periscope may be offline. Let's go ahead and take that shit down. That may be where that issue is lying, because I think Periscope is officially down and they've officially moved over to Twitter, and I may have to reconnect that. That could be causing problems. Who knows? Who knows why the chat is down? But the chat is down. But you guys go always come over to Podbean, where you guys can also call up into the podcast, where we have the Blue Chew Get In hotline. You know that's coming up. You guys know that's coming up, right? But we have the Blue Chew Get In hotline as well. And you guys can also we'll be able to join the live conversation. So at any point in time, you over here like, yo, your boys over here talking shit. Just know Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. You see the time we started? See the time it is right now? Just know by 8 o'clock we're usually still on. If we're not just now starting on Wednesday, we're still on Monday and Fridays. Come join the motherfucking shit. Right before Monday Night Football. Right before you start going out for the night. Like, we got you. Right here on the MyT Sports Podcast. The pre-show is really where it's at. Because I actually get the chance to play some music during the pre-show. You understand? And I don't even get a chance. But that shit don't go nowhere. That shit never get shit. That shit's just live here on Podbean. Podbean exclusive pre-shows. Podbean exclusive after shows too. All bonus material. Or usually Podbean exclusive. I keep telling you guys to come down to Podbean. There's more exclusive content that's pushed live through Podbean than anywhere else. So if you guys really want to be into like everything that I do and everything that I say and record or pop off here, you want to download the Podbean app and you want to sign up for notifications. There definitely, because that's where you get all the gems at. Podbean just all paying me. But yeah, Sophia Cunningham got hot, B. Like super hot. Like super duper hot. I'm talking about hotter than her in a bikini hot. Hotter than her Instagram hot. You know what I mean? Like hotter than Insta model hot. Like she got hot. She went 6 for 9 for the game in like 22 minutes, but I think she was 6 for 7 from 3-point range. So basically all the shots that she made was all 3-pointers. And they were at the most critical time in the game, where basically her team was down by 11 and they needed some buckets, and they were closing that gap by every single 3-pointer that she made. She shot a 3-pointer, they didn't give her the foul call. She got up and she got a technical. She would come right back down. Not too long after that, she would shoot a 3-pointer and then get the foul call this time around. And after 4-point play, it was just back and forth. It was ridiculous. And then the Mercury would end up taking that lead. Liberty would end up actually going down by 3 points at some point in time in the fourth quarter. Actually coming right down to the end of the fourth quarter, they would end up going down by 3 points. You would get a 3-pointer by Liberty forward. How do I say her name right? Britnasia Laney. She would hit a 3-pointer to tie the game up at 82-82. New York Liberty are celebrating, right? Okay, we about to go into overtime. There's like 2.3 seconds left, maybe something a little bit less than that. The Phoenix Mercury, they go in and they take a timeout. Hope you guys are still fine. I'm a little excited. I hope you guys can tell. They take a timeout. They get themselves a nice little inbound play. That inbound play goes to Brittany Green about 18 feet from the basket. And they double team her. And they force her out. Now, unfortunately, when they double team her, obviously if you double team somebody, you leave somebody open. The person that they left open was right underneath the basket, by the name of Breonna Turner. Before Breonna Turner could get a proper shot up, they fouled her. She would go to the free throw line. 83-82. It's a wrap. And they basically fouled her with almost no time left. She was at the line to win the game, and she came through in the clutch. While the New York Liberty choked in the clutch, up by 11. I really thought the New York Liberty could win this game. And then when I saw they were up by 11, I'm like, yeah, because you're playing with that house money. This is church's money. Nobody's expecting you to win. Like, remind them how you started off 5-0, 5-1. You were one of the best teams in the league for a good portion of this league, for a fifth of the time. Before the young rookie went out injured, who would end up being the leading scorer for the New York Liberty last night. I'm talking about Sabrina Ionescu. So we call her Ion. Sabrina Ion. And she was their leading scorer, but she didn't outscore the other team's leading scorer, who happened to be Skylar Diggins Smith, who led all players with 22 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, and a block. They gave this game away. Like I said, they gave this away several times, and you can see. I don't know if you want to call it inexperience, because the New York Liberty does have a very young team compared to the Phoenix Mercury team, who has not only tons of stars but also championship caliber players, They have champions on their team. They have, as you heard KJ say this the other day on the podcast, where he said they have the Kobe Bryant of the league in Phoenix. So he said. So the fact that they weren't able to keep it together, I can possibly understand. The fact that they crumbled in the closing moments, I can possibly understand. But that don't mean that you get a break. That don't mean that you get a pass. You still choke. Now, like I said, this is Sabrina's second year in the league. Like I said, there's another rookie that's on their team. This is gonna be a nice little learning lesson. And they took a former champion, right? One of the third or fourth woman in NBA history, in WNBA history, to ever to dunk, one of the most dominant centers in the NBA right now. They took them to a last second shot. They were up by 11 on them. I'm not trying to take moral victories out of anything, but people always try. Actually, yes I am. Let me go ahead and say this, because people always try to dismiss this. Like KJ does this a lot, right? My co-host KJ. You're like, oh, you guys sound like, look. He's trying to act like there's no such thing as called learning lessons. Like, I'm not promoting the fact that, I'm not trying to throw a parade for them because they lost, but there's lessons to be learned in losing. Like when we try to talk about Luka Doncic the other day, and he was like, well, that team's a good team. That team's good. Like, well, yeah, that team is a good team. And like a lot of good teams that have one star in it, you're basically beating your head, you're trying to get a little bit more help. But that's Luka in Dallas by himself. Being good. Being a good team. There are plenty of bad teams. You can't call Dallas a bad team. But let's not divulge it. You guys have to listen to the past show to hear that shit. The New York Liberty ended up losing this game 83-82, and I'm watching this and I'm just saying to myself, like, damn, New York, you were right there. You were right motherfucking there. And that game happened right after something else happened. Because I'm telling you, by the time the night was over, as a New Yorker, I was depressed. I was hurt. I was in my feels, for reals. And it made me realize that, as we said in the beginning of the podcast, that New York just can't have nice things. That the Knicks got good, and it cost us everything. Everything. You want to talk Yankees? You want to talk Mets? You want to talk Islanders? You want to talk Rangers? You want to talk Nets? You want to talk Liberty? Like I said, last night gave me the blues, but you know what? I don't want you guys to be blue at all. And there's no more depressing or hurtful moment that you can possibly have as a guy than not pleasing your woman the way that she wants to be pleased. Right? There's no embarrassing moment sometimes as a guy like, hey, baby, I'm sorry. This never happened to me before. I don't know what's going on here. You know what, guys? You no longer have to worry about that. But because before us as men could fix anything in the women's community, right? We have figured out a way how to keep our dick standing tall, folks. And what I have here for you folks is something called Blue Chew. Well, Blue Chew is a little blue pill that will give you back that thrill. All you're gonna have to do is open up a pack and then head to the sack. Basically, just a few chews before you do. It has the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis. I'm telling you, folks, this is one opportunity that you don't want to miss. She's gonna love how you come through like a champ when you blue chew in advance. And folks, let me tell you about this opportunity that you don't want to miss. Basically, what this opportunity is, with my promo code, with this week's promo code, it's gonna expire in a couple of days, folks. A couple of days. KJVH. That's K as in Kilo, J as in Juliet, V as in Victor, H as in Hotel. KJVH. You'll be able to get your first order of Blue Chew for free. Only thing you're gonna have to do is pay for shipping and handling. It's got to get to you somehow. A Blue Chew, baby. All you gotta do is just chew it and do it. Just chew it and do it. Just chew it and do it. Just chew it and do. Those Sonic coins everywhere. Do it. Basically, just chew it and beat the Sonics coins out of her. Literally. Yeah, I mean, like, chew it and beat the pinata stuffing out of her. You guys get it. You guys get it. So that's one thing that you don't have to worry about if you're a Knicks fan, right? But if you're New York, we still got problems. We still got problems as New York fans. It all depends on what side of the boroughs that you root for. Because if you're a Brooklyn fan, or if you're from Brooklyn and hey, you know what, you root for New York, but you've been reserving a third of your heart for the Brooklyn Nets, and every day that grows just a little bit more, but you probably don't want to leave more than a third because you never want to give more than half to them. Because you just can't do it because you grew up a Knicks fan. Some of you have already done the full conversion over to Brooklyn. I can't do it. Like I don't have that much blood in the sand. But I do love me some Brooklyn. So we're gonna talk about a former Rock Nation athlete, Kyrie Irving, folks. Can I tell you that Kyrie Irving continues to be polarized in so many different ways? It's not even funny, right? Let's talk about one of the good things that he has done recently, right? And I don't know if you guys have heard me mention this, but I do remember very recently that Kyrie Irving was on was on an interview with somebody. And he was with somebody that's kind of from the hip hop community, right? As a lot of us hip hop community individuals. And this dude was this nigga this and this nigga that, and yo that nigga is dope. And he was like, hey, Kyrie was like, you know what? Can we not drop this N-word so many times? Let's not get for the next generation. I understand that you still use a lot, but let's not set a bad example for the next generation and make it so comfortable for them to use it by seeing this word associated with me when I'm in spaces. And I'm like, you know what? My niggas. That's some strong, powerful shit. Not many people is going to stop somebody mid and be like, hey, let's not try to drop the nigga word if we can. Now, listen. I am somebody myself. But it took me to well over the age of 35 to if I even first thought about even getting there. And even more so over the last 2-3 years, where I'm trying to drop that word out of my vocabulary as well. But then, sometimes you just can't help it. Like sometimes you don't want to call women bitches, but hey, that bitch be tripping. That nigga be tripping. You know, you can't help yourself. Sometimes you get back to your Brooklyn ways, and you be like, "Yo, you know what I mean? I'm gonna have to get the five finger discount on this shit real quick. B, I'll let you boy. Light is up, light is up." So, and I wanted to highlight some of the stuff that Kyrie Irving does that's good first before I talk about what's going on here, because Kyrie Irving does get a lot of slack. We do like to poke fun at him a lot, right? Because he's very kind of poke funnable. But what it is recently is that Kyrie Irving may be on the verge of being traded from the New York Nets. And if he's not on the verge of being talked about being traded from the New York Nets, the rumblings are picking up again. And there's at least been a talk and a question brought to a superstar about Kyrie Irving. for Ben Simmons even, possibly. Now, when there wasn't anything else tied to this, and we were just talking about trying to better the team, Kevin Durant was like, nah, son, fuck that. Keep this nigga Kyrie, that's my boy. But, I mean, to be honest with you, but I see what he's saying. You don't want somebody that you can double. Let me not get there first. It's like, nah, fuck that, that's my boy. I can see let me get here first. I can see from a basketball standpoint, right? 'Cause this is the first dynamic that we're talking about, strictly from a basketball standpoint. He's like, nah, I don't want somebody like him. Kyrie Irving can get a shot off almost over anybody, especially in that point guard and shooting guard position. And he's super fucking deadly as a shooting guard, way more than he is as a point guard. Ben Simmons, while he's good as a point guard, he's not a great shooter, and he can't get a shot over anybody because he doesn't take a shot. And Kevin Durant may be thinking from a standpoint, well, I understand the dynamics that you guys are talking about. We'll have Harden, you'll have myself, 7 feet. We'll have Ben Simmons, 6'10". If LaMarcus Aldridge come back, you'll have LaMarcus Aldridge, 7 feet, who can murder the point. I'm telling you this right now. If they would have had LaMarcus Aldridge, like fuck missing Kyrie or whatever other, even James Harden, if they would have had LaMarcus Aldridge, they would have won that. They would have won a championship this year, because you couldn't stop the post game. He's a lost art. He's a relic. He actually could work the fucking post. That's what if Brooklyn had a guy like Joel Embiid. If you traded Kyrie for Joel Embiid, you win in a championship. Because you can't stop the post. You really can't stop the post. And he can post you and he can stretch you. We're talking about from pillar to post, basically. So I can understand from a pure basketball standpoint why Kevin Durant initially comes on and he throws the old kibosh on the whole situation to shut it down, shut it down, shut it down. But things are a little bit different now. There are a few more dynamics. There are a few more factors into it now. One of the factors that are going on with this now is the fact that Kyrie Irving isn't vaccinated. And not being vaccinated in the NBA has, just like the NFL, because they haven't mandated vaccinations, comes with its obstacles. How often you're tested, access, things of that nature. One of the things that you don't have access to anymore, depending on where you're from, California and New York, they have rules saying that if you're not vaccinated, you can't play in home games. Because your unvaccinated self can't be in that kind of environment for that long and while you're there. But people could come there and be unvaccinated, but you can't be there as an unvaccinated person for the New York Knicks, being a resident of the New York Knicks. Basically, if you're a New York Knicks fan and you're unvaccinated, you can't go watch games. So they're saying if you want to be in Madison Square Garden and you live in New York, you need to be vaccinated. Out of towners, you can deal with whatever. Like, we'll figure some shit out later on for you, but for right now, you got to be vaccinated to visit the Madison Square Garden. And honestly, they should just come out and say you got to be vaccinated. Period. Whether you're coming from out of town or not, which means that if you have a player on your team that's not vaccinated and you're coming to the Garden, and guess what? You just lost that player. I think that's how it works. Actually, that's exactly how it works. So now you don't have Kyrie Irving for possibly half the season. And we just saw this go on with Brooklyn this last year, right? Where there were ups and downs, there were guys in and out, and we saw that it was a real deterrent to their championship run, that they couldn't have any consistency with their guys. Well, now if you have a guy that can't play any home games, 41 games, what kind of consistency are you going to talk about having with him? if you're talking about a guy that may not be able to practice with you, depending on what facility that is, right? But I'm pretty sure the practice facility they have different rules. Like, what are you supposed to do with it? Now, maybe this works for Kyrie because Kyrie basically wants to play half a season anyway. You see, now that's a jab towards Kyrie. Like Kyrie Irving basically wants to play half a season anyway. So maybe this works for him, but I don't see how this works for the team. Our co-host Mark came out here and he said, one day, and he put it on the board, that not only when Brooklyn was a championship, not only when they win a championship, but they'll do so having a historic season, meaning that they'll lose less than 9 games. If Kyrie Irving isn't playing the whole entire season, how are you ever going to have a historic season? Like, that's another question in itself. How are you ever gonna build continuity? How are you gonna gel properly if this guy is not vaccinated, if he's not in the lineup regularly? So now I come back to Kevin Durant, because like I said, this is a little before the whole vaccination thing. Come back to Kevin Durant and be like, hey, is this what you want? Can you win like this? Is this about winning championship or just playing with your boy? Is this about being great here or just playing with your boys? Because I get it, you want to play with your boys. But do you want to be great? Do you want to win a chip here? Because then you're talking about what? You're going to have to get... It's better. You probably won't get home court advantage. It's going to be best for you to not get home court advantage in the playoffs? Be an 8th or 7th seed? Is that going to be best for you? So that you're playing the majority of the games on the road versus at home? So that you have Kyrie Irving for more games on the road, for more games than you won't? Is that what's going to be better for you? But let's break this down a little bit more. We talked about New York and LA having this rule. So that means Kyrie Irving can't go play in Los Angeles either. That means he can't go play on that away game for the Lakers. He can't go play in that away game in Inglewood. He can't go play in that away game in Sacramento. He can't go play in that away game in Golden State. Or in the Bay, wherever they're going to. He can't play either one. That's 4 more games. That means now Kyrie Irving only can play 37 games. That's dropped down to 41 to 37. And honestly, I haven't kept track of any other state that also has this rule out where there's a basketball team. I know Texas is all free willy. Florida's kind of free willy. But I do know LA and New York, how their rules are. Because the same thing that we're talking about for Kyrie Irving, on another note, we're also talking about Andrew Wiggins. So if you're Philadelphia, or if you're Golden State, do you find a trade that involves Andrew Wiggins and, I don't know, James Wiseman? To bring in Ben Simmons? Do you do that? And the number 1 pick, I think Golden State still got a couple of draft picks lingering around there. Do you do that? Do you trade Andrew Wiggins and Wiseman, force Ben Simmons to play center, to be honest with you. You're 6'10", dude. Go down there. Or play forward. You're 6'10", dude. You're gonna play point forward. It's gonna be Curry. It's gonna be Curry, Clay, Simmons, Draymond, and who knows. So now things start. So now you start seeing COVID starting to play into the factors on where Ben Simmons may get traded and who he may get traded for. Now, I think Brooklyn's gonna stay stubborn with Kyrie. Who knows? Because from what I've heard, they went. Like I said, we've already talked about this already. Well, they went to Kevin Durant and they talked to, and they asked him. He was like, "Nah, B." But now when you start presenting this stuff to him, we have a real chance here. James Harden's gonna come back and try to be healthy from a hammy. We all know hammies don't heal, right? You just kind of tolerate it from day to day, and then it gets slightly better, and you just kind of tolerate it from day to day. But with the movements that they make, God. So you have James Harden coming back in shape. You got Blake Griffin coming on over there. You got Paul Millsap now. We talked about, I just mentioned his name. The guy from Portland that came to Brooklyn. And he sat down LaMarcus Aldridge. You got LaMarcus Aldridge back. That's two post presents, to be honest with you. Millsap and LaMarcus Aldridge, which is something that they need. You get all of those guys back. And you're telling me that the only reason why this can't gel, and everybody's busting their ass, right? And we're going to talk about somebody else, and I'm worried about what kind of shape that they're in. While we continue to talk a little bit about basketball before we get into football for the second half of the podcast. Like, all of those guys come ready. Wanting to ball, ready to go. And the only thing stopping or derailing this unstoppable train is Kyrie. Now, who knows when Kyrie gets vaccinated? To be honest with you, I think he's the only person that we've heard about from Brooklyn that's not being vaccinated, and that's only based off of how they had to deal with him based off of NBA protocol. But that kind of just tells you, right, on who's vaccinated or not, who has to go through different protocols, and that's how the reporters and everybody's piecing it together. Hey, someone's like, oh well, he had to go through COVID protocol, and he has to go through the, and the coaches have no problem. Like, oh yeah, so he's going to be gone for the next 72 hours. Like, oh, did you say 72 hours? Like, yeah, 72. Okay, we get it. So-and-so's not vaccinated. It's automatic. They say all of the trigger words, all of the key words to let people know who is not vaccinated, who is vaccinated and who is not. Kevin Durant, I don't think that he should be having to pay the price of not winning a championship due to Kyrie Irving being vaccinated or not. So now, does he have a conversation with Kyrie Irving? Do they sit him down and be like, bro, like, we all got vaccinated, man. You gonna have to get vaxxed. It's like, we trying to do something big here. Like, I get it, like you do this and that third. Like, I'm asking you to take one for the team. But you know what's so crazy, man? The thing about it makes it so crazy is that Kyrie's over here acting like he never ever wanted to be part of a team. That he never wanted to be a team player. That he never wanted to be this guy. Like, this is the profession that you chose. This is the lifestyle that when you were chasing this bag, you had no problem doing all this stuff. Like, maybe that's the problem that also affects us with Kyrie Irving. When you was chasing the bag, you had no problem jumping through all these hoops. Getting the vaccination, doing all the things, showing up to practice. Being there for your team. You had no problem being a good teammate. Now you got that bag, and due to your NBA stardom, you've secured not only an NBA bag, but also outside bag and recognition. And now that you secure, you're like, now you're like, you know what? I don't want to do this shit anymore. Like, I want to be here, but I don't want to do none of this shit anymore. I just want to be here. I don't want to fulfill any of these obligations that help me get to the spot that allows me to say that, hey, I don't want to be here. And that's the thing that I think that pisses people off with Kyrie. Is that all of the things that you did to get here is what got you here. All of these things that you don't want to do now, or all of the things that you basically did at one point in time to get here. Because out of all of that shit, you wouldn't be there. Like, yeah, your game is nice and all that other stuff, but you utilized your game and you got yourself some bags because of your game and because of your and you went out and you went and you shook hands with this person. You went and I understand, like, hey, once I get my money, I ain't gonna be doing this. People like, hey, once I get my money, I ain't gonna eat bologna sandwiches. So maybe practice is like eating bologna sandwiches to you. You know what I mean? Maybe being a good teammate is like eating spam to you again. You know, maybe that's what that is. But I wonder if they're going to have a sit down with him and really give him a heart-to-heart talk and be like, hey, yo. What's going on with you? Can you do this for us? This one, you know, we don't normally come and bother you about trying to conform for the team, but yo, can you do this for us, B? Because we're trying to do something big. Like, yo, we want to go on a massive run. We want to break records. We want to go on a 42 game win streak. And maybe they want to do some shit like that. Go on a 35 game win streak, 39 game win streak. But you can't do that if Kyrie ain't playing. And I say they do that with Kyrie ain't playing. Good God. Good God. Good God. But the biggest trade we're talking about here is for Ben Simmons. And I'm wondering where Ben Simmons is going to go, because Ben Simmons definitely is saying that he wants out of Philly. It'll be funny, like I said. If Ben Simmons manages a way to get to Golden State for Andrew Wiggins, good God Almighty, talk about paying your taxes. And speaking about paying your taxes, tax season is just around the corner. Here we are, folks. Like, really, I don't know if you guys realize this. This is September. We're talking about October, November, December, right? It was really like 2 months. So tax season is basically here, and I know that we all want to maximize. Listen, we all want to take our return to the max. There's no better place to do that than with Liberty Tax. Sorry, Freedom Tax. Shit, let's do this over. Tax season is here, and we all want to push our return to the max. There's no better place or way to do that than with Freedom Tax. Freedom Tax is family owned and operated, so that means that they care and are blue collar. They'll take the time to go over your return. They'll lend advice when needed just to maximize your dollars. They're located at 4397 North State Road 7, Lauderdale Lakes, Florida 33319. Basically, that's right across the street from McDonald's. And peep this, right? Peep this. When you pop in, tell them that MyT Sports sent you, and you'll get $50 on site. And listen, just a few weeks later, your money's going to be right there in your pockets. Listen, you can walk in, or you can call 954-484-7700 and schedule your appointment today. Get ahead of the game. But you make sure you tell them MyT Sports sent you, and you get that $50 on site. If you have to send it in, listen, call them. Let them, because they'll do it out of state. You can also send them a fax and stuff like that, right? And you can do your taxes remotely. When you send that fax over or send that email over, let them know, referred by MyT Sports. And then include your Cash App information if you have to. Bada bing, bada boom. But that's what happens when MyT Sports sends you. $50 on site. Start getting the word out, people. Start getting the word out. So as we talk about paying your taxes, right, or paying your dues, then there was Thursday Night Football. And the Thursday Night Football game came on right before the WNBA game with New York Liberty. And can I tell you, it was watching this game where the first thought started coming to my head, like, damn. I remember, and we talked about this when people asked me, right, last season, hey, what do you want the Jets to do? Do you think they should go ahead and trade away that number 2 pick to get Sam Darnold some work, or do they go ahead and trade him away and get a quarterback? Trade him away and get a quarterback. And I was like, to be honest with you, I'm comfortable whichever one they do. Just whenever they just have to go all in. If they decided to keep Sam Darnold, I'm okay with that. But you're gonna have to find him weapons. You're gonna have to get him somebody. You're gonna have to get him a better play caller, because we all knew Adam Gase wasn't the guy. You're just gonna really have to fix him. But I understand there was a money thing that came into this one as well. Damn it. I forgot they're doing the Hey Ladies thing for you guys. Sorry, ladies. My bad. And so Sam Darnold, he's the one that went from bust to busty. Basically, he went from unattractive to attractive. He went from bust to busty. And it only took 3 weeks. But like I said, we talked about it. Talked about it sometime last season. It was like, if he, whichever one you do, I would understand. You just have to see if they go about it doing the right way. Because here we are right now, 3 weeks into the season. We absolutely see that Sam Darnold is a professional football player. Does he have some issues that young quarterbacks have sometimes, like ball security? Yeah, he had a problem holding on to the ball this last game too, but he recovered it, and sometimes it happens. It bounces your way right. We see that. We see this happen sometimes. But what you're seeing is Sam Darnold being one of the top 10 quarterbacks so far in the league versus numbers in QBR, and he has weapons. He actually has a wide receiver that can take the ball off of the top. He has a number 1 wide receiver as well to go after that, and he also has a running back that is one of the best running backs in the league. And if he wasn't white, he would probably be considered way better than that. Like everybody would be on his dick, and we'll see him on the endorsements everywhere. I don't watch any of these late night shows, but I'm pretty sure he would be all over them if he could. If he isn't already, that is. Now, Sam Darnold hasn't done nothing special, right? Just his 3rd straight 300+ yard game. More 300-yard games, and he's already in 3 games as a Panther than he had his whole entire career as a Jet. This time he had no touchdowns, but he also had no interceptions. He did put the ball on the ground twice, 2 fumbles, but those were recovered by his teammates. Now, we're going to see how they continue to be tested. They won this game like 24-9. This wasn't even a contest. But they lost somebody in this contest, and it was their best Swiss Army knife, folks. We have the MyT injury report.
Head down.
Folks, yep, they lost Christian McCaffrey, folks. They lost their workhorse, they lost their bell cow, they lost their number 1 producer. They lost their Swiss Army knife, the guy that blocks, the guy that runs, the guy that catches. They lost the guy that makes this offense dynamic. They lost the guy that helps that helps Robbie Anderson be able to go over the top a little bit more. It's the guy that helps the young wide receiver that they have get his catches. It's the guy that helps get Sam Darnold more time in the backfield, because you just have to worry about what Christian McCaffrey is doing just for a half a second longer. They lost that guy. Ooh. And is that not me? Look at that pause on me. Sorry. Listen to these guys. These guys are sending in their picks. Yo, what is wrong with KJ? Like, with the Browns, the 49ers, and the Rams. Okay. So I got Mark's 3 picks coming in. I got KJ's picks coming in. Right? And then... Wait, where's his Rams game? Oh, no, he picked the Raiders. Okay. Alrighty, good. So we got their picks coming in. We're going to talk about our picks coming into the week, folks, because as this week goes on, right now we are all tied up at 9 points apiece coming into week 3. And, folks, these games aren't getting any easier. And it looks like KJ is sending his out to me, and we're going to get those done in a second. Alrighty. Mr. That guy again. Boy, I'm telling you. I get a lot of these guys, and they love my podcast for some reason. I don't know what it is. I get a lot of guys that visit the podcast with racist names. Right, like this one says Mr. Clean hates black, and Coon's podcast. Right, and I think the last time I had somebody that had his name as I hate coons and niggas. Right, and but he was clever with it. I think he did N, then he put a period, and then he had the IGGERS after that. So he's finding clever ways to change up his name so that Podbean doesn't find him or whatever. But it's very interesting that everything that these guys, what these guys' names entail, and yet they're always on my podcast. Like they are always on my podcast, and that's the crazy thing about it. So I don't know if they really hate them as much as they say they do, because they apparently love being in their rooms and love chatting. See, that's that shit. Like, it was like, for something that you love, you always love to be around, or you always love to imitate. It's okay, homeboys. Like, we see you. We all see you. Like, you ain't hiding from nobody, and we also you don't scare anybody either. We all know that you guys are a bunch of fakes and cowards, and that you couldn't harm a fruit fly. Let's continue on with the podcast, right? And if you ever saw us face to face, you wouldn't do shit but get smacked the fuck up, get beat down, and then you'll probably just try to press charge. Oh my god! But don't worry. Come see me in Florida. Stand your ground, stand your ground, stand your ground, stand your ground. Ground to pound, ground to pound, ground to pound, ground to pound. Chest wound, chest wound, chest wound, chest wound. Down one in the knee. Because I'll be one of those excessive motherfuckers. Like, I'll catch you in every limb possible. Like, I'll make sure that you know. Like, I'll break it. I'll break an ankle. Break an ankle. A kneecap, elbow, a wrist, shoulders, all of it. Every single joint I can possibly find, I'm snapping. Trying to cause you the most possible living pain ever. I may even try to cut your eyelids off, just so I can wear them as a necklace. But that's something different. Now, see, this is when those army days come back. You throw it into my PTSD times, right? But that's what being a Jets fan does to you, right? Being a Jets fan kind of gives you PTSD, because you're looking at, and it's doing this, and it's starting already, right? I'll tell you what started, because you're looking at Sam Darnold be good in Carolina, and you're saying to yourself, all we had to do was get him weapons. All we had to do was go on Silver Lining. All we had to do was give him the pieces that was necessary to succeed. Get him better coaches, get him a better coordinator, get him better wide receivers, improve that offensive line. That actually seems to be pretty solid. Get him a decent running back. Draft a decent running back. Get somebody. You can get one of them stiff arm boys out of Bama. Bama got some stiff arm boys, don't they? You could have done that, but for monetary reasons you wouldn't have to reset it. Now you got the new quarterback. And as we broke down this game, even for the young quarterback, I told you he didn't look that bad. When you really watch the game, like I said, this is different than wins and losses. The Jets aren't in a win and loss time frame right now. They're in a building and learning time frame mode right now. The Giants are in a win and loss mode. It's a difference. So, but for Sam Darnold to look this good, like but it smacks Jets fans in the face, and it makes Jets fans wonder if they should have kept him. It makes Jets fans wonder. Not all Jets fans, but some Jets fans start to wonder if this quarterback that we have now, if this is the guy. That starts to become a real thought. In week 3. That's what it means to be a Jets fan. Now, I got something for you guys, because I did mention an injury going on to Christian McCaffrey. So because of that injury, right, that also has some fantasy football implications. So for you guys, right, before we get into our picks, we have for you, the MyT Fantasy Football Tips. Not winning tips, just tips.
Just the tip? Just the tip! Just the tip!
Let's just say what I want involves much more than just the tips. Just the tips. What I want is much more than just the tips.
Yeah, I suppose we're back here again every football season, right? We always have for you some MyT Fantasy Football Tips. Ugh. That's for the munchkin. Ugh. And what you're gonna want to do, folks, if you happen to be one of those individuals that drafted Christian McCaffrey as one of your running backs, pobrecito, bendito, right? I should have made that. Bendito. But no, who cares, right? If you had Christian McCaffrey as your player in fantasy football, as one of your running backs, then you're gonna need to replace him. Very first thing that you're gonna want to do is go and handcuff his replacement. Christian McCaffrey was a big time number one wide receiver. They're not gonna change a lot. They're gonna try to get some catches out of the backfield for Hubbard. They're gonna also run him out of the backfield. Am I saying that he's gonna get 13 in each or 7, or is he gonna put up the numbers, 50 yards rushing and 50 yards catching? No, he may not. But he may get 40 and 40. He could get 30 and a touchdown. That's still 13 points. So, or 12 points, whatever it is. So he's still somebody that you still may want to get. He can get 35 and a touchdown. They're still going to try to use him. And he's still going to be there for check downs. He's still going to be there as an option. And if he's already gotten comfortable to not even so much so slinging out to Christian McCaffrey, but slinging it out to the running back in some of these scenarios, then he's still going to do that until Chuba Hubbard. That's the name. Chuba Hubbard. It sounds like something that I get in the morning. Chuba Hubbard. It sounds like something that my girlfriend says to me in the morning. Chuba Hubbard. Okay. Let's get serious. Let's get serious. So you're gonna want to handcuff him and get him into your lineup. Also, you may want to see if there's any other running backs out there as well that you could possibly get. But definitely he's gonna be the first one to get. Now, get in front of it and get him now and reserve your spot for him, because he's gonna get on waiver wire. And if anybody out there is smart, right, in your fantasy league, let's say they have running back problems, or let's say they just want to bolster their running backs, or they want to handcuff one, and I'll explain to you what all three different scenarios will mean. They may draft this person to go ahead and put on their team. Now, first scenario, where they just may need running backs. It's as simple as that. Maybe their running back committee is weak, and they see the fact that basically the guy that's going to replace Christian McCaffrey, right, is now being moved up to the number one spot. Let me go ahead and get him, and let's see if I can get myself some more. Let me talking football now.
I have a reminder for talent.
Word? We'll talk to this in a second. And let's see if we can get some more people. Let's see if I can now get some help in here. And actually get somebody that may be a better number one option. That's just if they have a weak running back committee. And what you just heard there, folks, was a little notification. What that notification was for was to remind us about a little something that our co-host here, Mark, has started. And what he started was the 21 light salute. That's why we call him the 21 Mark salute, right? But he started the right. Well, he started something called the 21 light salute. And what the 21 light salute is a way to pay homage and give respect, and just a little something to dedicate to all of those that have been affected by COVID. Because regardless of what you think about COVID, I want to believe that most of us by now know somebody that at least knows somebody that knows somebody that has died of COVID. So if you don't know somebody directly that has died from COVID, then I know that you have a friend that has a family member or a friend that has, that has died from COVID, or they have a friend that has somebody that's died from COVID. Listen, it's no more than 3 individuals removed that you know somebody that has died from COVID at this point in time, whether you want to believe that they died from COVID or not. Both of my co-hosts have caught COVID. I'm just lucky for some reason. Or maybe I had it and I didn't know. I know one of my one of my exes had COVID. Like right around the time that this is before you, sugars. Just to let you know. Right. But one of my exes, obviously, I'm tripping. But yeah, one of my exes had COVID. You know what I mean? So, like she had caught that shit. I've known one of my best friends' whole entire family. I've known too many people that has actually caught COVID. And our coach over here, his one of his aunts had passed from it. So what we do now is that we like to flick our lights 7 times for all those that have been affected by it. So let's go ahead and take that time out real quick. What's going on, Kansas City? Welcome to the MyT Sports Podcast. Right now we're taking a little quick break. We're doing what we call our 21 lights salute, where I flick our lights 7 times for all those that have been affected by COVID. So we're doing that right now. And if you see it on the background, you can go ahead and you see that the lights are going off. We're now doing our 4th and 5th ones right now. Missed 6, and now that is 7, folks. Let's continue to get into these fantasy football implications, right? So now I told you about if they just basically have a weak room. If they have a weak room, but if they have a weak running back committee, then yeah, they're just gonna pick up Christian McCaffrey. Now, the other one, let's say they just want to bolster their running back squad. They have strong running backs. I'm ready, but you know what? They say to themselves, I want to think about that bye week. Maybe I want it to be strong. I don't want any loopholes. Or maybe I just want to prepare for an injury of my own. And for the next couple of weeks, let me get this guy in here. Let me see what they can do. They just want to make themselves stronger. Period. Like you see that guy out there, and you're like, you know what? Let me go ahead and take him. Let me make myself stronger. Period. Or they could be trying to handcuff him. They may not need him at all. And why would they get him if they don't need him? What's gonna happen if they don't? What happens if they don't need him? They're trying to see if you need him enough to trade for him. Yes, trade bait. That's another reason where, you know what? Maybe that person needs to strengthen their wide receiver core. Maybe you got good wide receivers. Maybe your backup quarterback they're eyeing. You may have something that they need. And that person just goes out and gets Christian McCaffrey just to handcuff him. Not Christian McCaffrey, but Chuba Hubbard just to handcuff them. Or what you don't want to do is drop Christian McCaffrey either. You're not dropping Christian McCaffrey until you know he's officially. I'm telling you right now, there's some savages out there. You don't want to drop Christian McCaffrey until you know that he's officially out for the whole entire season. Because if there's any chance that he could come back in 4 weeks and you drop him now, just like I'm telling you what somebody could do with Chuba Hubbard. And this is a rule of thumb that comes on generally with any star player of this nature, right? That somebody may handcuff your players, whether it's the backup that you're trying to get, because they're trying to say like, hey, if you need this person, let's go ahead and make a deal. Maybe let's go ahead and trade for them. And if you don't want to trade for them, then you know what? Cool. I'll just have another strong ass running back on my squad, and you don't have to deal with shit. You go find your person. Now, like I know I need a couple wide receivers, but hey, you really need this running back. But they can possibly trade with you. You know, trade quarterbacks, trade defense, trade something. That's one reason. But like I said, the reason why you don't drop the guy like Christian McCaffrey, you don't drop that number when they got injured until you know that they're officially out. Same thing again. Somebody may see you drop them, not need him at all, but say, you know what? I definitely don't need this person on my team. Let me handcuff them. And everybody may think about that. The person that needs to strengthen their running back squad, the person that may just want to get a little bit better, and the person that don't need him at all. They all may say, you know, let me grab this because you never know. If this person comes back and you over here just dropping them to create space, when this person comes back, they're still one of the top 3 running backs in the league, and now you drop them. Guess what? I don't mind wasting a spot to keep this person on my team. So you're not dropping Christian McCaffrey to get Chuba Hubbard. What you're doing is that you're putting Chuba Hubbard on your team for the person that owes Christian McCaffrey. You finding somebody else to drop, but you're definitely not trying to drop Christian McCaffrey. Because I'm telling you right now, you drop Christian McCaffrey, and somebody's picking them up, and somebody will handcuff them on their team until they know for sure that Christian McCaffrey is out for the season, and then they'll drop them. They'll have no problem keeping them on their bench, because hopefully that person has 5 running backs. They're like, you know what? Who's the one I'm getting rid of? Or maybe they have 5 wide receivers. They're like, you know what? I'm gonna get rid of one of these. See, that's another reason when we told. See, this is why I told you, like, these things come in layers. And even when we were talking about, drafting, and we gave you the draft, the fantasy football draft 101 podcast. Now this kind of expounds on that, on why you may want to draft 5 wide receivers or 5 running backs, right? We told you someone to play around with, whatever, because you can never have too many. But also, you know what? When you see, like, one, you want to cover yourself, but also when you see this happen, you can get rid of somebody that you like, you know what? I really even want this guy. Or now that I have him for like now that I have them for 3 weeks, I can see that they're not quite producing, or they're not going to get that shot, or they're not what I thought they were. And you're able to grab somebody like that and easily add them to your team. See, there's layers here. So there goes the MyT fantasy football tips. Not winning tips, just tips.
Just the tip? Just the tip! Just the tip!
Let's just say what I want involves much more than just the tips. Just the tips. What I want is much more than just the tips.
Just the fantasy football tips. Yo, KJ is going out on a limb here. Alrighty, folks. We have KJ's picks that have come in for us. We have Mark's picks that have come in for us. I haven't quite done my picks yet, but I do know that I at least have them marked out. I have a consideration for them of which ones. I have an idea of which ones I'm gonna do. I just don't. I think I picked 4, and I just need to finally just kind of dwindle it down, folks. So you know what? Without any further ado, let's get into the picks.
Love to see it segment of the week. Give me that shit. Love to see it. Love to see it.
That wasn't a love to see it. This isn't a love to see it segment. You know what I really wait. Do I have? Did I mention to you guys that the Blue Chew Get In hotline is officially open? But that wasn't what I was looking for. I was looking to. Okay, that's not it. Alright. I actually don't want to spend too long here on the podcast, right? Talking about my picks, right? Because what we do here, right, is that we're doing a little contest, and we're picking three games for the week. So if you guys like to join us at home, you guys can join us, and you can see if you beat us out. We're not going against the spreads or anything else like that. We're just picking the game straight up, and we're giving them a point total. Now the way that we're doing is to keep things a little interesting, right? We add brackets on it just so we can make it a little bit restrictions on it to make it a little bit harder. So one game that you have to pick is from the morning games, right? Or the afternoon games, I should say, the early afternoon games. The Thursday night game qualifies as one of those, if you want to add that in there. Also, we determine that on Wednesday. If you're gonna pick the Thursday night game, we determine that on Wednesday. So nobody out here nobody's gonna be out here like, I got Carolina, even though I had Carolina as a determining as one of the teams I was considering. So maybe 1, 2, 3. Alright, I still got 4. Okay, I had 5 teams I had picked. All right. Carolina really was one of the teams I was determined in picking. Like, I really had a lot of faith that Carolina was going to be able to beat Houston. And listen, I ain't gonna lie to you. See, this is how, even when you're not a fan of a team, how you end up watching a team for no reason. Watching a lot of a team for no reason. Because of the fact that the New York Jets used to have Sam Darnold, right? I am going to be watching a lot of Carolina Panthers games. Which is good for the Carolina Panthers because, in a way, you kind of... And I know there's a lot of fans that are doing this. There's a lot of Jet fans that are doing this, that they're peeking in on Carolina games when it's playing. So what you just did, Carolina, while you may not have a dynamic player that's going to automatically draw fans to you like Cam Newton, or a dynamic individual that's going to automatically draw fans to you like Cam Newton, what you do is have a guy that used to be in the New York market, and what's going to end up happening, you're going to get like 25% of them just putting an eye on you just to see what the fuck happens out of just personal interest. And the thing about it, you're going to get the haters and you're gonna get the haters and the congratulators both, right? You're gonna get the guys who be like, okay, I just want to see how he's gonna do, and you know, because I want to see the kid do good. And you're gonna get the people that want to be in the what was me mode, like, see, I was watching just because I just knew he was gonna do good. I was gonna use this why this just can't have nice things. Right. Like that part. So I thought about it. Now let's go ahead and give you my co-host picks. Break those down. Then I'll go ahead and give you my pick. Mark, I don't know why Mark is copying me. Mark is really copying me. And he's getting on my damn nerve. He's getting on my damn nerve. Yo, this is really funny. Mark and I really almost have the same picks. Seriously. Okay, let me let you guys know what games I was considering. I was considering the Carolina and Houston game. I was considering the Baltimore-Detroit game. That's 2 games from the early afternoon. I was considering Arizona and Jacksonville. It's another game from the early afternoon. I was considering Miami and Las Vegas. And then obviously we all have to do Philly and Dallas. So that's what I was in actually in the phrase. I was actually giving you guys the rules to the game. So the way the rules work. Who the fuck did I just see that was live? Excuse me, sorry guys. Throw this door in and tickle a little bit here. But I was trying to give you guys the rules to the game. And the way that we do it here, if you guys want to play at home, is that we will have one game from the early afternoon game. As I said though, the Thursday night game could be one. We're going to have one game from the afternoon games, right? Which the Sunday night football can also be one. And then we're all going head to head on Monday Night Football. So you guys like to play at home? That's how it is. We're picking 3 games. One game you give 3 points to. One game you give 2 points to. Another game you give 1 point to. So here we go, folks. We have now our MyT football picks of the week, and let's go ahead and start off with my co-host KJ, because he has the most, I don't want to say awkward, unconventional. There we go. I want to say his picks happen to be a little bit more unconventional this week than normal, and unconventional even than ours when it comes down to it. So, who he has for his 3 games is that he has picked Cleveland over Chicago, right? So he has Cleveland picking over Chicago, and he has that as 1 point. Now, just to let you know, if you guys have seen my picks already up on the website, up on all of my social media sites, I've already put my picks up. I've had my picks up since early Wednesday. I've been confident about this. I ain't gonna lie. When I did the template for the weeks, for all of the weeks, I started doing my picks then. I have basically done 18 weeks of picks already. I don't know. So I had, and the crazy thing about it is that I guess if I tallied it up, I can probably give you an idea of who I think is going to win. But I've basically done most of my picks for the whole entire year already. Now there were some games I was kind of iffy on. Home games always make me a little bit more troublesome because I see something different, like Jets games, Giants games. But, you know, they always rub me the wrong way. But I almost have 18 weeks of picks done. So if you go check out my social media pages, my picks are up. So I've done my picks for the whole entire week. The automated pick of 7,000 has done their picks for the week. We're gonna go ahead and give you those as well when we give you these, right? So first 3-point game, KJ has picked Cleveland. I have also picked Cleveland to win this game. The automated pick of 7,000 has picked Chicago to win this game. I don't know what the automated pick of 7,000 is on. Personally, I can see why KJ picks this. Baker Mayfield, the certified chef of the National Football League, like he should go up there and serve up a couple of touchdowns. Chicago is still trying to figure things out. Their quarterback scenario is still in shambles. We don't know what kind of team they are, seriously. So, and Cleveland's also at home. We're talking about the dog pound, and it's so funny that, you can tell when shows are listening to our podcast. Because you know how we were making fun of the Cleveland Browns for being lazy and not even giving their team a name. They just gave it a color, and we've been going all over the place and talking about colors. I heard them talking about on the Barton Hahn show. And I love Barton Hahn. Those are two of my peoples. I don't mind you guys stealing them. But holla at the Vex Vet. Remember I called you, John. I told you I was vexed. Yes. I was vexed about the Tom Thibodeau take you was trying to make about him possibly not being able to coach up young players. Now y'all out here stealing my takes. Just holler at your boy. Tell me. I got you. You ain't got a lot of kicking with me. Here with you on this journey. Just bring me up there on ESPN with you guys. You know what I mean? Don't have me produce the podcast that my toe is bent in a weird way. I ain't know it's sore. To be honest with you. Ooh. What the fuck is that? Okay. I got some shit going on like in a joint in my big toe. It's sore when I bend it a certain way. Is that what they call the gout? Is that the gout? Do I got the gout? Yo, somebody help me out here. Do I got the gout? Oh man. Let me stop joking around. You can see Baker, but you can definitely see Baker Mayfield going off for a couple of yards. We all know that the defense is supposed to be certified. What's going on, Joanna? Is that you, Joanna? I didn't know if that's you. You're gonna have to hit me up. Like if that's you, you're gonna have to tell me. You're gonna have to tell me how we met, because like I've been getting messages and I gotta make sure that's you. You gotta have to let me know how we know each other. So I was like, any of my Podbean family, they got Joanna's number, right? Because I need y'all to reach out to her and find out if her account is hacked or not, right? So if any of you are listening, you guys got her information, right? Then, see, but again, you know where to find me if that's really you. You know if you see me there, then you know where I'm at. So I need to know what we talking about over here, and then we can do some business. So I can see him going with Cleveland as far as now. I don't know if it's a 3-point game or if it's that easy of a pick. I had no problem picking Cleveland, so I can see him picking Cleveland easily. But to be it the game that you give points to, I was a little bit nervous with that one. I would be a little bit nervous for that one. For his 2-point game, KJ went with the San Francisco 49ers from the afternoon games. San Francisco 49ers are going to be taking on the Seattle Seahawks. I think KJ took offense to what we said last week, that he was picking easy games. And this is another game that I'm surprised that he's out here giving 2 points to this. Like, I am really surprised because, no, seriously. Because Mark and I are almost in lockstep. To the point where I'm like, damn. Do I want to go with my Baltimore over Detroit, or do I want to go with Arizona over Jacksonville? And you'll understand why. I don't have any other afternoon games to pick, right? And we're definitely going the opposite way on one game as well. So, man, this is going to be an interesting week. This is going to be a real interesting week because there's going to be a lot of distance put between me and Mark based off what happens here. Actually, no, it ain't. No, it ain't at all. Damn. I'm gonna have to switch something around. Because, okay, I'm gonna tell you what's going on here. Let me not even talk about the San Francisco and Seattle game that KJ has done, right? Let's give you all of our 3-pointers, right? So KJ is for 3-point. He's giving he's taking Cleveland over Chicago. Now Mark and I, right? Now Mark has taken Arizona over Jacksonville, right? Arizona's going to be visiting Jacksonville. The automated pick at 6,000 and myself pick Arizona to win this game. And to be honest with you, this was one of the away games that I wanted to pick. This was really and truly one of the games that I wanted to pick for my early games. It's between this and the Baltimore game. So now I'm looking at this and I'm like, damn. If I pick, I don't want to be that tied into Mark, to be honest with you. Pause. Also because I don't have anything different for the afternoon games, and you're going to see what we're talking about there. I really don't want to be that tied into Mark where, we're both getting points here, we're all both picking the same games. But listen, there's a reason why Arizona and Jacksonville kind of catch it out. Arizona's on fire, and he already knows how much I like Arizona this year. And not even so much Arizona, but just what they produce. Like Arizona's gonna be one of those teams that are gonna produce numbers for some time now, based off of the weapons that they have on that team. They're gonna produce crazy numbers. This is why they are producing video game numbers in some of their games. And I'm all here for it. I am all here for that show. And then Jacksonville is just Jacksonville. You got Lane Kiffin or whoever it is over there, Miles Turner or Miles Kiffin or whatever his name is, right? Over there just mucking things up over there. It's just tearing shit down. That organization is all fucked up. And then I was also considering Baltimore and Detroit. And we all know what's going on in Baltimore and Detroit. I got Baltimore winning that game. The automated pick of 6,000 got Detroit winning that game. It sounds like... No, it sounds like nothing. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you when I say... Just for the simple fact of being different. Actually, you know what? Nah, fuck that, B. You know what? For my 3-point game, I'm actually going to go with the afternoon game. I'm actually going to go with the afternoon game of Las Vegas over Miami, and I'm going with Las Vegas. Now, the interesting thing about this, Mark also has Las Vegas for his 2-point game. This is why I was telling you that things are just gonna get weird here. That we both want Arizona, we both think Las Vegas is gonna win it, and listen, that's not nothing out of the blue. I'm not picking this as one of my games, but like I said, KJ picked Cleveland to beat Chicago. I think the same thing as well. He picked Seattle. Oh wait, I looked at the wrong paper when I said Seattle and San Francisco. It's Seattle over Minnesota. Well, guess what? I got Seattle over Minnesota as well. It's just that I don't know if they're gonna be able to pull off a close victory or not. KJ got Philly over Dallas. I got Philly over Dallas. Automated pick of 7,000 got Philly over Dallas. Obviously, Mark got Dallas over Philly, and he's giving Dallas over Philly his 1 point game. KJ's making Philly over Dallas his 1 point game as well. I'm gonna really switch things up. So, see, I don't want to lose these points though, because I'm gonna go Las Vegas for my 3-pointer over Miami. I'm really sticking to this Miami crowd down here, right? Then, for my 2-point game, I'm going to go Baltimore over Detroit. Just so I can get away from Arizona for a while, right? Forces me to watch another game. Because we're going to have to watch all these games. That's the other part of it, too. And damn, there's going to be a lot of games we're going to have to watch. I don't want us all watching Las Vegas, so let's throw a different game into the mix. And for my 1-point game, I'm definitely doing Philly over Dallas. And Philly over Dallas is also starting to be something that, damn, I need to start this account. I really need to go ahead and start and make this bet for real for Philly to win their division. That is definitely a bet that I need to go ahead and make. That is something serious, and that's one of the reasons why. Is this what I think it is? My no-name homie. I just sent you the invite to get you on. What's going on? Welcome to MyT Sports Podcast, folks. Hello? Caller? Are you there? No. We'll get our call in here sometime. So, for the 3-point game, KJ got Cleveland, I got Las Vegas, Mark got Arizona. For the 2-pointer, he has KJ got San Fran, I got Baltimore, and Mark got Las Vegas. And then KJ and I are both giving our 1-point game to Philly, and Mark is giving his 1-point game to Dallas. You know what's so funny? It's so funny. Not one time, right? Not one time has Mark ever picked his team yet. And the only time he's done it, I think, is when he's had to do it. Wait, is this their second Monday night game? This ain't their second Monday night game. It's the only time he's had to do it, and he does it with no confidence. He only gives them 1 point. You see how he truly feels about his team. But I can't front. If I was ever forced to have to pick the Jets in any game or the Giants in any game, like listen, I got the Jets beating Denver. I think I got the Jets beating Denver. I think I do. I thought we had a caller, but we'll see. But you are up, caller. Whenever you are ready, let me know. Are you there? Nope, can't hear them. I don't know what's going on there. So let's go ahead and give you the rest of the picks for the week, right? So we all had, I shouldn't say we all. When I say we all, I'm talking about myself and the automated pick of 7,000. I don't have everybody else's picks for the whole entire week. Just the one that we're giving points to. We all had. I had Carolina over Houston, and so did the automated pick of 6,000. I have Tennessee over Indy, automated pick of 7,000. Is going with Indy. I have the Giants beating Atlanta, so the 7,000. I have Kansas. We both have Kansas City over the Chargers. We both have Pittsburgh over Cincy. We split on Cleveland and Chicago. I have Cleveland. The automated picker has picking Detroit over Baltimore. I got Baltimore in this scenario. I have New Orleans beating New England. Automated picker thought I'm fucking retarded. They look like they think that Bill Belichick is gonna scheme up a bunch of turnover changes. What's going on? My homegirl Caitlin popping on Instagram. How you doing, sweetheart? How you been? I'm good, chilling. You know me, you know what I'm always doing over here, podding and shit. That's all I do is pod. 3 nights a week. Mondays at 6, Fridays at 6. We're almost out of here. and then every Wednesday at 8. listen, if you want to, don't you guys forget that if you would like to come join the podcast live, right, in person, we will be recording live from Sharky's the first Wednesday of every single month. So next month on October 6th, we record live from Sharky. The show starts at 8:07. Come and join us live if you would like to come and join the show. Come in there, get some beer, get some food. The Sharky wings are on fire. Get that. If you don't want to have any Sharky wings, then you get yourself a chicken Philly. This is gonna be lit. Definitely gonna be lit. That's what's up. I appreciate you. Yo, bring whoever you can bring and tell them to come through. Listen, you know what we say with the MyT Sports Podcast? It's always a good time. We still got my caller trying to get up in here. Look like we having some caller difficulties. I'm not quite sure what's going on over here with the Podbean app. Why we can't get you in here. Now, to continue with the games, right? We both have Arizona busting Jacksonville's ass, right? Not sure what's going on. But is this Ronnie? Is that Ronnie that I see? Is that you trying to get in? Yep, okay. Yeah, still with the name shit. Like, I don't know what Podbean is doing to you, B. I don't know what they're doing to you. Like, they over here, they try. Like, listen, as our friend Bobby would say, they're trying you. They're trying you. So, how can I add French Montana here? He's on my live always. Well, if he pops up on the live and you guys do a live while I'm doing my live, then we pop up on the live. What's going on, goods? We're just going ahead and wrapping up on the mighty, wrapping up on the picks for the week. What's going on? But as you know, goods, like the Blue Chew Get In hotline is officially open. So if you guys like to call in, go ahead and call in. I know that Ronnie is having some issues as he's trying to call in, but go ahead and call in if you like. We'll see if this is an everything issue or this is the issue with you. But as we continue, right, we both have Arizona and Jacksonville go ahead and whooping that ass easily, right? You know we got the Blue Chew Get In hotline, and as you guys know, right, if you like a free order of Blue Chew, when you go into the Blue Chew website, use this week's promo code. It's gonna be ending soon, folks. It's KJVH. That's Kilo Juliet Victor Hotel. Alright, KJVH, for you to get your free order of Blue Chew today. That's basically free pills. Not free, 6 orders, basically. You're going to get 6 pills in there. 6 things. 12 pills all together for your first order. 6 samples. Or 6 doses, I should say. That's the word I'm looking for. You get 6 doses for your first order for free. All you got to do is use my code. That's a lot. That's a lot. Hey, listen, if you're just using it like just to beat the Sonic coins out of her for one night, yeah, you got no problems whatsoever. But you know, we live in South Florida. South Florida, like we do. Listen, we'll do anything in pill form in South. I'm joking. I'm gonna make this shit blow up. Thank you. That's what's up. Same team. Well, we got the same team. You know what I mean? But you may just want to beat the Sonic coins out of her for one night. You know what I mean? Real quick. Go ahead. Yo, you was in South Florida? Word? Damn. See? We got to exchange info. That shit can't happen again. One of my homeboys is just in South Florida. Oh, B, I'm literally 15 minutes away from Boca Raton. I actually was just in Boca earlier today doing deliveries. Like I used to work in Boca Raton. I used to work in the mouth of the rat. Yes, I used to work in that area. Work in that area now too. One of the studios I used to work out of is in that area as well too. All depends where you was at. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, South Florida is my hood. This whole South Florida area, like this is my hood. And it's a lovely hood too. Palm trees and greenery everywhere. I'm from New York. I'm from Brooklyn. Like, that's probably the reason why this I'm glad you think that from listening to the podcast, and that you think this podcast is in New York, and that we're heavy, because we're just heavy in New York. We're just a heavy New York kind of podcast here. Like I'm a Knicks fan, I'm a Yankees fan, I'm a Jets fan, Giants fan, Brooklyn fan, from Brooklyn. Like I root for them all. So that's that one thing, definitely. So no, but appreciate it. So to continue to run down with these picks, because I got some shit for you guys. I got some shit for you guys. KJ snuck in one of his little quiet storm questions, right? And I'm gonna discuss it with the fellas probably next week as well, right? Speaking of who's winning the NFC East this year? Glad you asked that question. My pick, and we was just talking about that. We was actually just talking about that in a weird way. I think that's kind of where you actually kind of came in at, because I was picking Philly to win this game over Dallas, and part of it is because I have Philly winning this division. I knew you wasn't gonna like that. Listen. But I have Philly winning this division. But also, I'm being selfish here, right? But I'm really hoping I get lucky here. The odds on Philly winning their division are very good. The good, right? And it'll be very bad of me if I didn't take an opportunity to go ahead and bet on it. Because I would end up having the ugly face if they won the division and I didn't get a chance to cash in. You feels me? That's the truth. So, because of the fact that listen, like that's I like Jalen Hurts too. Like, I truly like Jalen Hurts. That's one thing I have to be honest with too. Did I originally believe that they could win this division? I thought it was a possibility. Then when I put money on it, I have to go all in. That's literally me. I don't make a lot of bets. I really don't. I'm not a person that makes a lot of bets. That's not my thing. As it looks like, we just got cut off from the Podbean app, which means that we just broke 2 hours of podding, which means that I need to get my butt to sleep soon. Listen, we are not going to be podding for any more than half an hour. I'm telling you this right now. I'm telling you, I mean this like Stevie Wonder, from the bottom of my heart. From my heart. I'm not going to be podding for no more than 30 more minutes. I am done after this. I'm telling you. How long has it been? 2 hours? It's been 2 hours. Just about 2 hours. Which is now 45. I gotta be up at 3 in the morning. Yeah, we gotta cut this off real soon. We got 15 more minutes, folks. We got 15 to 22 more minutes, and then I'm done potting. So, to answer one of the questions that I got from the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? The good, the bad, and the ugly truth. Well, I just call them the goods. Right? So the question I got from the goods. That's one of my. Oh shit! Damn. I need him to pop back on. I really hope he pops back on. Like, I'm gonna have to hit him up on Instagram and shit like that, and then we gotta have to find something out. If he pops back on, I definitely have a question for him about Joanna, because I have to find out if her account is hacked or not. So that's the God to honest truth. You guys already know, if you've been here on the podcast with me, I really do like Jalen Hurts. And I don't know if I really thought that they could win the division beforehand. Because to be honest with you, I thought that this was down. And see, he's not here to hear this. I started off the season saying that this is Dallas's division to lose, which I still truly believe. Now, do I like Jalen Hurts? Yes, because this division is so weak. Do I think that based on how I've seen him play these last 2 weeks, do I think he has a chance? Yes. And we're talking about a weak-ass division. A weak-ass division. And if you're talking about having a chance, see, I don't think that the Giants have a chance at all, to be honest with you. For real, for real. Washington's chances are very quietly dwindling. That defense isn't looking like how it was looking. Let's see if they start to pick up steam a little bit later on in the season, right? We already know they're having issues trying to figure out who their quarterback is. They had Fitzmagic, now they're just looking drunk with a Heineken, right? We're gonna have to figure those. We're gonna have to get those little things figured out. But Philly has a chance. Like, I see them and they have a chance. And if it's somebody's division to lose because they can't run away with it, then a chance is all you need. And then when you when you add that chance in, which so all we're talking about here, right? When you add that in there, with the fact that I put money on it, then now I'm over here.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
I'm going all in now when it comes to Philly, to be honest with you. So that's what kind of pushed it over. So, as I was talking to the goods earlier, that when I was talking to the goods earlier, saying that, you know what? I don't think you realize it, but it's their division to lose. It is the Cowboys' division to lose. That was my very first assessment of this division. I saw the first game. I saw the first game of the week, first game of the season. I mean, for Philadelphia Eagles. I saw how Jalen Hurts looked. I heard about these odds. I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna do it, guys. I think I'm gonna do it. It was real simple. And now I have them favored in my mind. Where I'm hoping to bet like $50 to get 1,000. Real simple. Real simple. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. That's more $50 a week. Easy. Sometimes more. Breezy. Cover girl. Kind of shit. Let's go ahead and finish giving you these picks, right? I think the last time we talked, we was on Arizona and Jacksonville, which I think we both have Arizona and Jacksonville. We have Buffalo over Washington. Honestly, don't even think that's even going to be a competition, to be honest with you. I said Washington has their own set of problems right now. We just highlighted them while we were talking about who was going to win that division. Washington's still trying to figure out their new young quarterback. That defense doesn't look what it was hyped up to be. Like, it is not paying the bill or what top billing was. And they said that defense was going to be able to carry that team, and that defense is going to look like a big part of the wet paper bag that they have going on there. So we both easily see Buffalo coming away with this victory. Now, as you guys know, I have to warn you every once in a while. I get heart picks. This next one is a heart pick for me. And what we're talking about is Denver versus the Jets over here. Only because there's a small part of me that's looking at this. And I'm like, hey, yo, Jets, at some point in time, you're going to have to step this shit the fuck up, B. Like, you just can't lay the fuck down to every Tom, Dick, and Harry that you fucking see. Alright? Here comes Denver. And what they're about to do, they're gonna throw out steady, Teddy. And Denver's not bad. Wait, we call him Steady Teddy, but there's nothing wrong with being a consistent quarterback, and that's really what we're calling him here. He's a consistent quarterback. They have a good defense in Denver. They have good weapons in the backfield. They have good weapons at the wideout. You know they have a quarterback that isn't going to turn the ball over. And you got a defense that can dominate their side of the ball. Control and can control the line. They're going to be in Denver. This is his first time playing in the Mile High City. Who knows if he gets affected by the altitude while he's there. Yo, you know what?
I'm champion! Get shit on! Get shit on! Get shit on! Your ass! Your ass! Shut the fuck up! 1v1 you pussy! Pussy! Fucking 1v1 you piece of shit!
I can't! That's like your favorite thing. Oh my god. I accidentally pushed that button. I'm trying to save that shit for later. We definitely gonna talk about some shit that KJ said. Oh my god. That's just fucking hilarious. So I'm picking the Jets, right, to come away with this victory. Automated pick of 6,000. I think is picking Denver to win this game. This is a heart pick, and if you guys know me by now, if I make a heart pick, that means run the opposite way. It means I'm not doing this with enough logic for you to believe my pick. I just gave you all of the reasons why Denver should win, and yet I'm still picking the Jets. Only because at some point in time you gotta get one. You gotta get one. I don't know if Denver's a team to get one against, but you gotta get one. Let's see what you can do. Let's see if he's learned how to be a more steady quarterback, kind of like Bridgewater over there, where he's not throwing interceptions but working on his checkdowns, or sometimes even throwing the ball away. Let's see what he does. I watched that last game. They didn't look bad. They just looked outmaneuvered. I heard Bart Scott break down, and it's funny because I heard Bart Scott break down one of the plays, right, that was happening, a couple of the interceptions that happened. And one of the first things that he said was that they threw in there one of the most complex defensive schemes that you can think of to have out there for anybody to see. He said they used to run that shit in Baltimore. And he said the reason why it looked like, and remember we talked bad about him here. It's like, yo, a couple of plays, and we talked a couple of plays, he looked like he just passed it straight to the other team. Which that ain't the case, so he must have been schemed out of his ass. And Bart Scott solidified that they're playing like some weird 3-2-3 or whatever. And what happened? It looks like man, and it breaks into a zone. And then what happens is that where he thinks that his man is supposed to be, his man ends up not being there, ends up being the other defender because when they break and they break in the zone coverage, or when their man decides to switch off, is the other defender there. Like he explained it to me. I can't explain that shit. Go ahead and listen to the show. To their show. Go listen to Bart Scott break down that shit. But he broke it down. And I was like, okay. I understand what you're trying to say now. It makes sense. So let's hope. I'm hoping. I'm picking this. Like I said, it's a heart pick. I'm making this pick with hope that something finally clicks, and let's say we could sneak away with a 2-point game here. Next up, we got Las Vegas taking on Miami. We all, as far as I can tell, KJ got this too. I got it. The automated pick of 7,000 got this. Got Las Vegas over Miami. Miami's in shambles right now. Miami is rated to have one of the top defenses in the league, but it ain't working out that way. It doesn't matter. We know that Jacoby Brissett looks better than Tua got a tongue twister, but it's not gonna matter. They're gonna play Las Vegas, and we've seen how they've looked. Derek Carr has been one of the best and underrated quarterbacks of the league since he's been in the league. It is so funny. I was listening to one of my old podcasts today, and when I tell you there are so many things I miss from the old days, right? But just because I'm trying to make sure that I can get this podcast to you guys on YouTube and not lose it, and not having get it lost to copyright, there's so many little things I used to do in the old podcast that I really do miss. It's not even funny. And I'm listening to the old podcast, season 2, episode 16. And I'm actually talking about Derek Carr, right? In that episode, this is 5 years ago. Shit, right? And I'm talking about Derek Carr. And we're talking about him being drafted, and I think this may be his rookie season or some shit. And he's doing pretty all right. And I feel like every single year, Derek Carr does pretty damn good. And I feel like every year we're kind of fucking shocked. Or we say it as if we were expecting something different. But he's been pretty fucking consistent, his damn self. But I think that, again, that's where I think that where his big brother did, it really throws everybody off. So he still has that stigma. Oh man, this is so funny. He still has that stigma of what his brother was versus who he is. He's always living in that shadow. It's almost as if his brother is playing right now, and his brother is trying to undo what he looked like in the beginning of his career. And that's the reason why every time he comes out and has a very decent season, or has all these decent games, we kind of look at it like, oh shit. But yeah, Las Vegas has their shit together. Chucky has them running right. You understand? And Miami's going to be scared for their life. And we're probably going to see a lot of what we saw against that game against Buffalo. Low-key, I want to predict another shutout. But I think they'll be better with Jacoby Brissett, so maybe they get 10 points. But I want to predict another shutout, for real, for real. Yo, look at yo, look at my homegirl, yo. Yo, she is the shit, yo. Caitlin over here, she over here tagging Jada Kiss and French Montana to the podcast. Yo, if you guys happen to hop on the podcast, you guys end up rewatching this. If you ever like to join the podcast, go on my website, mytsports.net. You'll be able to find all the links. The way that you can call in and join the podcast and actually be one of our callers, you can call in through the Bluetooth Get-In hotline down when you download the Podbean app. You'll be able to find the live podcast and you'll be able to join us through there. Next up, we got Seattle versus Minnesota. Seattle's going to be on the road visiting Minnesota. And I got Seattle. Automated pick of 7,000 has Minnesota. I know KJ, he has Seattle? I thought he had Seattle for one of these games. He picked San Francisco. What the fuck? No. Wait a minute. Did I get his pick right? Cleveland, San Francisco, Rams. And then he switched out the Rams for the Eagles. Okay. Wait a minute. He got San Francisco? That's what I'm... Okay, so, I am surprised by his picks. Cleveland kind of surprises me. That's not a complete cakewalk. They can get punched in the mouth by that Chicago defense. That's not a complete cakewalk. And for him to pick San Francisco for his 2-point game, when they're going up against Green Bay, going up against Aaron Rodgers and what they have going on there, and Aaron Rodgers is his favorite quarterback. I wonder if he wanted to pick the Rams as his 2-pointer, and maybe, I don't know. We're going to see, because I am surprised. But I have Seattle over Minnesota. Again, Kirk Cousins, don't have a lot of faith in him as a quarterback. They're losing Cook. Actually, no. Cook is banged up. I know he's questionable for this week's game. You have to keep an eye on his status. And if he's banged up, then basically he can be banged up again and get banged up some more. This will be a very good game if he is slightly banged up or if he is hesitant for what they're trying to make the resurrection of the Legion of Boom in Seattle, for them to start getting a couple of jokes going through their bodies so they can start looking alive. I don't know if they're going to be... Who you need to add is Rock Nation Sports, to be honest with you. For real. How do you think about that shit? So, yeah, we're going to see Seattle coming with this game. And that's just talking about the defense. That's not even mentioning Russell Wilson. You know, first name Russell, last name Wilson. He was wondering if he could come out and throw some touchdowns right in your house. That's him still. Mr. Unlimited. Now, the funny thing here, it sounds like KJ was going for the Rams on this one. Next game we'll talk about is Tampa Bay versus the LA Rams. This is going to be what's considered, I guess, a future playoff game, right? A future possibly NFC championship game, as they're trying to predict it or deem it. And it could very well be Matthew Stafford taking on Tom Brady. That Rams defense, that Tampa Bay defense. I got Tampa Bay beating the LA Rams. KJ, I believe, has the LA Rams winning. Automated pick of 6,000 has the LA Rams winning. And I'm really going to be looking... Now, I'm going to be honest with you. If the Tampa Bay Buccaneers lose this game, I don't care. I honestly would like for the Rams to win this game, because if the Rams don't beat them here, there's not a lot of opportunities that anybody, that the rest of the league is going to get a victory over Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay has basically a cakewalk of a season. The LA Rams game is one of the harder games in their schedule. This is going to be a great test for Matthew Stafford, a great test for this Rams defense. They have a great front line. They have a great cornerback. Can Darnold can Darnold put enough pressure to throw Tom Brady's rhythm off? And can Jalen Ramsey cause enough damage to take away enough of the field to allow other guys to also be effective as defenders, as backs and safeties, as DBs and safeties? Like that's what I'm going to be curious about. Can Darnold get to that, put enough pressure on the offensive line for the linemen and linebackers to be more successful? Because there's a lot of weapons in Tampa Bay, and that's the thing that gets me. There's a lot of weapons. So if they work short, middle, intermediate consistently, right, and constantly have packages there, it's going to be hard. Get it out to the running back. Get it out on a slant. Get it out on the deep route. Get it out to the opposite side of the field. Oh, you found a way to buy me 4 seconds once. Bam. Let's get it out deep. Let's get it out middle. Like, there's so many different ways. There's only one person that Jalen Ramsey can take away. Who's he gonna take away between Gronk, Chris? Oh my God, win. Right? We're talking. Damn, why am I forgetting his name? The Redbone brother, 6'3", bigger than an ox. We're talking about him and Antonio Brown. That brings him up. Antonio Brown, we're gonna see if they have to worry about Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown may not make it to this game. That may be one thing on their favor. Antonio Brown is going through COVID protocol because Antonio Brown is not vaccinated. We just talked about how some players may get traded this season in the NBA for one certain Ben Simmons because they're not vaccinated. We're gonna talk basketball a little bit later again after we make our picks. Just for a quick minute. I told you guys we're not gonna spend more than, I already went over my time. 22 minutes. We're 19 minutes in. So this game for Tampa Bay, while I'm picking Tampa Bay to win because listen, Tom Brady, if you're gonna have this many weapons around you, I'm never gonna pick against you. You should win every game. If you don't have an undefeated season, then you fail. If you don't win a championship with this team every single year, then you fail. I'm sorry. It's a double-edged sword. You want to go to a stacked team? Be great. Be greater than great. Be greater than anybody has ever been. Be greater than you've ever been. Be greater than this team has ever been. Be greater than anybody has ever been in football history. You're supposed to be the greatest. You're the GOAT. You're the 7-time champ. You have more offensive weapons than anybody else in the entire league. Go be great. I don't want to see you drop a game. So no, I'm not letting them off the hook by picking the LA Rams. Nope. You need to go ahead and win this. And I hope the Rams win. For the Sunday night game, which I'm surprised this isn't a Sunday night game, to be honest with you. We have Green Bay versus San Francisco. They should flex that shit, to be honest. They should flex. Yo, no lie, B. Yo, not for nothing. They should flex that shit. Not for nothing. They should flex that shit. I ain't gonna lie, B. They should definitely flex that shit. And move Green Bay up to 4 o'clock and put Tampa Bay, LA Rams into that late game. It's basically like playing 4 o'clock for them anyway. Shit. No, I'm messing around. We have Green Bay versus San Francisco. I've picked San Francisco. The automated pick of 6,000 has picked Green Bay. KJ picked San Francisco. Wow. Yo, me and KJ are really on the same page with our picks this week. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. But I wouldn't pick San Francisco. I wouldn't give San Francisco one of my point games. But I have San Francisco winning this game too. Something's going on with Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers still. They're still in the same house, but they ain't mend shit up. Like they got into a big ass fist fight, and they have not mended things as of yet. they're still not quite talking. It feels like they're still not quite talking to each other. This defense ain't quite what it's supposed to be. That defense is completely suspect, to be honest with you. The only reason why the offense looks as good as it does because you have Aaron freaking Rodgers. And oh my God, I saw him put a dime on. I think it was to Tony. Right, put a dime on to Tony. Tony was just running, and he literally put it right here, in stride as he's running this way, and it was just like crazy. That like literally like I'm running and then that shit, it was so pretty, and he had a safety trying to close in from the left side. He had a safety going trying to close in from the right side. Kind of over the top, coming in and closing. He had the DB on his back, and Aaron Rodgers literally put in so. And trust me when I say that, this safety is a lot closer than what it is, because that safety, if he would have jumped, he probably could have got a hand on it or some shit like that. But he probably wasn't afraid of like pass interference in case he got there sooner than later. But and Aaron Rodgers literally put it in the pocket. It was just doom. Like you didn't even. God, it was so pretty. But that defense for San Francisco, for Green Bay, is so suspect. Let's see what happens. Green Bay should win this game. We all expect more out of Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers expects more out of himself on his farewell tour from Green Bay. Honestly with you, while I'm seeing them play this year, and I know they just beat Detroit, like I really want to see how they play against San Francisco, because I'm still kind of curious about how locked into this season, or how locked in this whole team is to this season. Because you know what, that's another thing that we're not be taking into accountability, that maybe this team isn't going all out for him anymore, because you know what, maybe they don't feel like he's worth that shit anymore. They hear how he talks about them sometimes, how he's all this wishy-washy, maybe this and maybe that. Maybe some of them are offended. But I'm not going to judge a victory over Detroit for anything, to be honest with you. Let's see what happens when they play against a real team against San Francisco, because the last time they played against a real team, they got blown the fuck out. They let Jameis Winston put 5 touchdowns on there. You telling me Jimmy G can't cook? And I get it. You weren't quite sure what version of Jameis Winston that you were going to get. And not what version of Jameis Winston. You couldn't game plan for Jameis Winston yet, because you haven't seen him played in a year. So you game plan for the old him, and this was a different him with a different scheme. So you didn't know if you needed to game plan for the old him, or if you needed to game plan for a version of Drew Brees with a better arm. But you just wasn't ready. We're going to see if you're ready for San Francisco. And the last game of the night, we talked about Philly versus Dallas. And I think I've already kind of given you my take on Philly versus Dallas. I got Philly beating this. I have Philly winning this game. Now, do I think that Dallas can beat Philly? In this particular instance, I think Philly still. I think I will still probably pick Philly to win this game after watching what Jalen Hurts has done. Again, remember, you have to remember sometimes. Sometimes when I make picks, it's also like I'm testing the other team that I'm picking against, or I'm testing the team that I'm picking for. Like, you should win these games. You shouldn't lose that game. But hey, I want Philly. I'm chasing that paper B. Like, I ain't gonna front. I'm chasing that paper B. So yeah. I'm definitely going with Philly when it comes to this game. But when it comes to this Monday night football game against Dallas, I picked Philly. The automated picker 7,000 picked Philly. KJ picked Philly, and Mark is the only person that picked Dallas. Now, as you know, KJ and I gave Philly our 1 point, made that 1 point game, and Mark has given Dallas that 1 point game, because we really don't have any confidence in them whatsoever. And I'm telling you, I would have followed Mark's suit and picked Arizona and Las Vegas as well, but I couldn't do that. So that's the reason why I picked Las Vegas and Baltimore. And now that we have that out of the way, folks, that is all of our Week 3 picks, all wrapped up in the MyT Sports Podcast. Now, I said I wanted to end this already. I already wanted to end this. Let me go ahead and give you guys something, because this is where I really wanted to give this to you. KJ snuck something in here, right? KJ likes to do that. He likes to sneakily like give us a little quiet storm a little quiet storm topic to go ahead and throw some shit in there. So as KJ would say, right?
Love to see it segment of the week. Give me that shit. Love to see it. Love to see it. Love to see it segment of the week. Give me that shit. Love to see it. Love to see it.
Well, he passed us a list, right? Had of 6 individual Hall of Famers. A couple of them are still playing, a couple of them aren't. But 6 and one of them aren't with us. Rest in peace, Kobe. Right? 6 individual Hall of Famers. And he said, on this squad, who would be on the bench? This team comprises of Michael Jordan, Stephen Curry, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, and that's all it took for me before my answer was LeBron James. Out of all of these players, who do you bench? My answer already is LeBron James. Automatically, I'm benching LeBron. That's it. We don't gotta go no further. We don't gotta look no farther. We don't gotta go anywhere else. Anytime there's a list like this, the answer is LeBron, because I mean, is LeBron James not the generous king? Is he not open with the rings? Is he not the guy that's definitely good? That we all know that he's gonna make that sacrifice. Like we all know that he is.
I'm gonna take my talents to South Beach because I'm the best player in the world.
That's not what I want. I want this one.
I'm gonna take my talents to South Beach because I'm the best player. I'm gonna take my talents to South Beach because I'm the best player in the world. I have a huge basketball IQ. I want my damn respect too.
Like we don't know about him.
I'm gonna take my talents to South Beach because I'm the best player in the world. I have a huge basketball IQ.
Like that's all LeBron James. We know him. He's gonna come off the bench for that team. I didn't even need to hear that. I didn't even need to see the other 2 people. Now, funny thing about it, that happens and KJ's automatically, you know what though? You 2 are petty. Like I hate you guys. I hate it here. You guys 2 are just petty. Because I said that, and so did Mark. Now, funny thing is Mark showed that to his son. And his son was saying that, hey, LeBron James, he's definitely starting. Who he put on the bench, I'll let you know when I give you the other 2 players. So the other 2 players on this list, we have Michael Jordan, Curry, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Shaquille O'Neal. And he said he would bring KD off the bench. He would need LeBron James to start because they need somebody to pass the ball and to distribute. You got Stephen Curry on the goddamn team. I'm sorry. People act like LeBron James isn't a what's that? I said. Even Stephen Curry isn't a point guard and he is a distributor. And I'm sorry. And LeBron James is basically as much of a ball hog as Stephen Curry is. Let's not get that twisted. He needs that ball in his hand. No, you bring him off the bench and he can lead whatever bench squad you decide full of Hall of Famers to go ahead and put on the team with him. But my answer still stands that
Cleveland! This is for you! I'm gonna take my talents to South Beach because I'm the best player in the world. I have a huge basketball IQ. I want my damn respect too.
But on that team, I'm bringing LeBron James off that bench. I'm sorry. I am bringing LeBron James off that bench. Whatever. Because then you could give Curry rest if you want to. And then you switch up the whole entire pace and you have LeBron James as a starter. Because when you do that, then that team just has a ridiculous amount of size that you just can't deal with. But I'm telling you, the fact that KJ was like, yo, you a hater. Hell, you are like LeBron James. And you guys know how I feel about LeBron James, right? Like in sports world, in sports reference, right? And only in sports reference, because he ruined the game for me. That he didn't even ruin the game for me. ESPN ruled the game for me by not playing my Knicks, and this side he played one of his high school games. But it's funny that he said that because you know what? If LeBron James ever really saw me in real life, right? Listen, I already know LeBron James is already listening to the podcast. I already know that he's low-key listening. And he's low-key has it help. I already know this. It's the reason why he drops his movie like the weekend of my birthday. Like, I be seeing this shit that he be taking shots at me. I be catching him. We all know about you, LeBron, how about your pettiness and how you be coming at people. you know what I mean, sideways and stuff like that, or low key. I know this reason why I'm not with Rock Nation Sports yet. I get this. Because we all know if LeBron James saw me face to face, what LeBron... See, I got it on tape, folks. I got audio of what LeBron James would say to me if he ever saw me one-on-one.
I'm champion. Get shit on. Get shit on. Get shit on. Your ass. Your ass.
Wait, what was that?
I'm champion. Get shit. I'm champion. I'm champion. I'm champion. Get shit on. Get shit on. Get shit on. Your ass. Your ass. Shut the fuck up. 1v1 me, you pussy. Pussy. Fucking 1v1 me. You piece of shit.
I love that, folks. We're done.
Sorry, B. I tried.
Oh, God.
All the bandwidth in the world couldn't keep me contained. No lag.
What's going on, Kels?
No lag. Gonna share my talents with Pod B Live. Always knew I'd take the pod there. Just a lot later than a lot of listeners thought. Last of the real gabbers. Well, maybe not the last. Munchkin got good mic skills. New, improved MyT podcaster. Potty down now. Last call for drinks. Bars closed. Sun's out. Heard the casino got a buffet. Don't want to go far. Wild night. Tired, B. Tired. MyT
Sports.
I'm champion. Get shit on. Get shit on. Get shit on. Your ass. Your ass. Shut the fuck up. 1v1 me, you pussy. Pussy. Fucking 1v1 me. You piece of shit.
I can't.
Your number is up, but they calling them. I'm running gas in the city like it was more. I wanna snitch on me, now you wouldn't. I ain't trying to steal your best friend, your neighborhood. I'm just running. Got all these white women snitching and calling they cops for nothing. Hey Karen, I'm your neighbor. Ask chillin' for nigga frontin'. Bitch, I live here. Bitch, I live here. Snitch shit. We on some snitch shit. We on some snitch shit. We on some snitch shit. Ha ha. Fuck you. I'm Vaca. I'm full. You was the underdog?
Yeah, kind of, sort of. You know what I'm saying? Because I felt like it's crazy shit.
I like crazy shit.
Especially, I felt like.
Hey, shit. I'm still recording somewhere on a fuck.